Hello and welcome to the Nash Tackle Off the Hook podcast. Just to make you aware, this podcast may contain some explicit/offensive language, and if that's not your thing, you don't have to listen, but I have given you a warning. I hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
You don't know the half of it, but anyway. I'm skating on the thinnest ice known to man.
He said, and they put a poison in the tank that just instantly kills them. He went and we'd run out of it, so we cut their heads off with shovels.
Suddenly, bang! The whole boat exploded.
Take your sort of 8-inch long piranha and imagine that at 4, 5, maybe 6 feet.
I said, I've revived your dead fish. F off, he said. You haven't.
That was just humongous. It was... I couldn't believe what I was looking at.
I'm just battling this fish out and I know it's a black man. I'm saying I'll never be a naughty boy again.
If you catch fish and you return them to the water, then you are my brother.
Scott Hatton, welcome to the Nash Tackle podcast, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Thank you for the invite and welcome to your lovely home.
Don't be silly, mate. Anytime. You're local, very local to me. It makes sense that we don't go down to Essex, mate. We stay up north where the roots are. What have you been up to recently?
Been on my campaign water a little bit back end of the year. Pulled off that for the winter. It's not the one. And then managed to squeeze a winter ticket for the local commercial. Thought I could make that my own a little bit, but not really my sort of place that I'm used to, and sort of struggled on there a little bit. So need to find something that lights the fire to get me back out proper.
The word commercial is something that I definitely don't associate with you. And also your lad, Connor's been on the podcast. He's talked about his sort of chronicles. You've had, I would say, probably the most incredible result. I know people talk Carp Angler of the Year, Martin Clark's 260s, Lauren Stanford's incredible captures abroad, various others. But in terms of a carping prospect that is thrown at somebody, what you achieved this Christmas that we're going to talk about later on the biggest lake in the land, mate, is absolutely incredible, but very synonymous with you not being commercial, big off-grid, unknown waters, and that whole... I'm going to call it extreme carping because it is as extreme as you could probably get, mate. That is how I would say I would sort of pigeonhole you, if you like. But obviously, there's a lot of facets to you, mate. We're going to talk about various chapters throughout the course of sort of your life on those type of venues, as well as some others that are scattered in there. That whole big, crazy, unknown stock, rock hard prospect. Why do you think you've been drawn to that type of fishing?
Don't get me wrong, I've done the day tickets, I've done the club waters, enjoyed them. But I think it just gets to the point where we're up the northwest. There's not a great deal. And fishing probably just develops a bit more where I wanted to be the unknown or then target them missing fish that haven't been out for a few years on some club water. You get to the point where you've ticked most of them off. And then I just found that freedom where you can go out, use a boat, you can place rigs, you can go out searching for them all. Just get away from the crowds, basically. Just somewhere to chill out, wind down, and just got a passion for that style of fishing.
It's not about bites then. It's not about catching numbers of fish. It's not necessarily about even targeting individual fish, is it? You're sort of... Talk to me about your actual motivation and why you go down that route.
It's never been about the fish. I'm quite happy to sit on the water 12 months. 3-4 nights a week, every single week through summer, autumn, winter, maybe for one bite. It's more about the memories. You know, we've mentioned Connor fishing with my son most of the time. 90% of my angling's with Connor. There's not many people who get to spend that much time with their son, and obviously that's a major part of my angling. Just making memories on the bank with. I'm not always going to be around forever, sort of thing. You can look back at some points and think, do you know what? Yeah. Them memories are there. I was lucky with my own dad, where I worked with my dad for 20 odd years. So I spent a lot of time with my dad. And I've got them memories. I'd like Connor to sort of have that. And if you can do that while you're doing something that you both love doing and you've got that drive for it, yeah.
Mate, I love that. I think the story of you two and that whole, and we'll talk about it, your sort of closeness, but also the time you spend together and the influence you've no doubt had on his angling as well, is a real beautiful thing. Like, I think back to time with my dad. excuse me, how I got started, all that sort of thing, and it is significant. But the amount of time you guys have spent together, as you say, is incredible. The starting point for you mentioned your dad there. Angling, again, this neck of the woods, the northwest, in terms of sort of the carp scene, they're there. Don't get me wrong, but there's few and far between in terms of big carp. How did your angling sort of start? How did it then progress into sort of carp fishing, if you like?
As early as I can remember, I was always into my wildlife. You know what I mean? I was out bird watching. Everything was basically outside. Didn't want to be in the house. So I was lucky. I had an amazing upbringing, amazing childhood. Couldn't wish for better. So my granddad used to take me out, lived 40 foot away from the lake. So he'd have me over there like once or twice a week on a weekend, stuff like that. I'd be out netting sticklebacks. Then it progressed to wanting to catch what was in the water. So my dad took us out down the local canal, the old Sankey Canal that was local to us. Started fishing down there one night a week. Then it went to 2 nights, then 3 nights, then 4 nights. My dad was an angler when he was younger. He'd left off for a couple of years. So that got that buzz going with my dad again, where we both had something we could enjoy. Then did that for a few years, fishing like the canal, stuff like that. And
so you were carp fishing and doing nights at what age?
It wasn't carp fishing, it was just going out, on the quiver tip, lunch and meat, bit of bread flakes, stuff like that on the local canal. But you're catching them small carp, £2-3 pound carp. And then
through the nights, when did the overnights?
The overnight started probably when it was about 10, 11. But primarily before that, it was just up till say like 10 o'clock school night. My mum would be my mum would be screaming at me dad when you come back for the door. What time's it? I told you 8 o'clock, and my dad's taking the flak for it, like an arm itching, get back out the night after. And then I lived, like I said, 40 foot from a lake. So that was on my doorstep. So what I used to basically do, I'd finish school, fly home, get my gear on every night of the week. And then be doing like the weekend stuff like that. I worked for a tattle shop and all while I was at school. So I was working when I was 13. So I had to look for because what would happen then in work, because obviously you're butchering all the guys coming in. And it was probably the late 80s. So it was when the carp scene started to really take off. You're butchering the guys who's coming in, who's fishing like the D and the ribble. So on a weekend, they'd have me off, go up with her, do a bit of river fishing, stuff like that. You're learning all different aspects of fishing. I got into the match fishing side as a junior, did quite well with that. And
why didn't that stay on? Because again, like, don't get me wrong, I've been up here, I don't know how many years I've been up here now, 12 years maybe, but it very much seems that there is more probably prevalence of sort of a match scene, especially near me, than there is sort of the big carp scene. There's a lot of lads doing it, don't get me wrong, but there is a lot of more match predominance. There's a lot of match venues up here. There's Partridge, Bradshaw's, loads near me and in around where that is happening week in, week out. Why didn't you stick on that scene?
From what I can remember going back, close season, I used to be out and about, be looking, I'd be mooching about, go down with a loaf of bread, they're coming up on the top. You chance what stocked in there sort of thing, because it was a bit of carp fishing, but it was like overall everything, but I enjoyed the match side. And I remember down the local canal feeding bread one night, and they were coming up, these doubles. Never had a double. I was probably been about 11, 12, and these doubles are coming up. I'm like, that's for me. I want a bit of that. You know what I mean? So it's the match side went a little bit to one side, and it went carp.
What was that first sort of carp caught, if you like, by Carp Design, mate? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. I was hoping you were going to ask me, actually, because it was old school. Still remember it. I was on the canal with my dad one evening and fished a potato, believe it or not. I remember I think it was Angler's Mail. Andy Little had done a book showing a really old book. I wish I still had it. It was probably somewhere at my mum and dad's in the loft. And he was talking about potatoes, and he was using a baiting needle to put them on. And for somehow or other, I'd got this soft potato. Don't even know why. Put it on, sort of thing, on the local canal.
No flavours, just as it is.
Just a potato, put it out, right? And it was literally the last knock-in, 5 to 10. My dad screaming, come on, get off. I'm going to get it in the net when we get in. I had to take, I think it was £10 something, this mirror. And it was like, that was it. It was instant. You know what I mean? The match gear was gone.
That's epic. On a potato,
On
mate.
a potato,
You're like the
I mean,
Chris Yates of the north, mate.
You can't get any more old school than that, can you? Do you know what I mean?
Well, your Chris Yates was probably more sweet corn, mate. Maybe even before Chris Yates. Unbelievable, mate. Like potato. But that for you was the pivotal sort of moment where you thought, right, well, I want to target these fish. The sort of size of them, the fighting quality of them, that match scene sort of gone. That's me now. How'd your dad feel about all that? Because he seems like quite a multi-dimensional angler, your old man.
Yeah, my dad, he's into the fly fishing, stuff like that. I do go once a year with my dad down to Brennig and get a boat out for the day. My dad's kind of all round to do the sea fishing. I took him out this year. He's got more time than ever, goes less. So I had him out, back end of last year for a night. My dad, he wasn't bothered. It's the canal, you know what I mean? My dad's happy catching bream, tench, whatever, carp. So, yeah, my dad's always supported me whatever he wants to do. I mean, he'll always stand by me, pat me on the back sort of thing.
I love that, mate. Your sort of start from there, obviously your carp fishing progressed. Was it a case of then looking at going a bit further afield from sort of where you're primarily based, or were you very much staying to sort of the canal and local waters?
It was generally the canal. I was lucky I had mates at school who was into the fishing, so 3 or 4 of us. So we'd be down the canal, I think it was probably about 12 doing my first nights, even though you couldn't night fish it. It was one of them, just get down there, you tuck away somewhere. One of them, sitting up all night long. Then first light, it'd be on the floaters for him, and then literally sleeping all day, side of a bush down the canal. My dad would come and check on me, and we'd all be flat out somewhere, just on the bank in Screel somewhere. And then he'd be like, stay on for another night, get another night done. My school holidays was generally, I'd be 12, 13, but I'd work. Dad would drop me off at a property that he was renovating, drop me off at 7 in the morning, pick me back up at 6 o'clock at night, and I'd be dropping the roof, ripping the floor out. So then I'd do that for so many weeks, get the money, and then I'd be fishing for a week, then I'd be back doing that for 2 or 3 weeks. But it was always about the fishing.
Jeez, mate. It seems from early that's different level to sort of, I don't know, spend that much time, work towards it, and then also just like, I know everybody had a passion for it, but that's still, again, probably a little bit different to people's normal. They might do a couple of days or keep going every day, but not to sort of camp out on a canal. What was the canal life like? Safe? Happy days? Mental?
Yeah, pretty mental. It's 5-minute walk from the town centre. It was the Sankey Canal, so it was renowned for being heated from Pilk's glass. They used it as a cooling station. So they pump the water out, they'd cool the glass, pump it back in. So dead of winter, January, 80 degrees. So generally it would be 3 o'clock in the morning after town's turned out. You'd probably have 300-400 people swimming in the canal.
You're joking.
No, I'd be one of them.
Hey, we heard about your antics.
We'll
talk about them later.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was a mega place. Like, it had everything in there. There was tropical fish. There was guppies in there. You had tiger Oscars in there. The whole shebang. You just never knew what you was going to catch. But primarily, we were there for the carp.
Your fishing, you're sort of, at that time, obviously it's quite formative. It's quite early in terms of your own fishing and development. How did you fish it? You talked about floaters a fair bit. You talked about potatoes, but I'm guessing things moved on a bit from there.
Yeah, I mean, going back to them late 90s, I remember there wasn't much out, was there? I was in the tackle shop, I was working in the tackle shop, so I was really privileged and lucky with that side of things. You got the Nashy stuff started coming in, you got the oval brolly out, which I've always wanted. Then you got like the hutchie flavours were coming in, you got a bit of minstrel at the time, Christen, silkworm.
Yeah, Christen.
And Merlin,
yeah.
I think, had just come out. The tackle shop was an all-round tackle shop, mainly course match, stuff like that. And boss had gone away for a weekend. So I rinsed it, the shop, literally moved everything. I compacted all the match stuff and all the general day-to-day fishing side of stuff, pleasure fishing. I compacted it all into one little area, and I had this big section at the back I'd done on my own back. I thought, right, we're having a carp section. I'd have been 14, something like that.
Jeez, what did he say to that?
He was buzzing when he come back. His dad owned it. They had a shop in another town, and then they had this one. And literally, his dad had come down and literally a pat on the back for it. So it was like mega. I'd got like the Nashy sacks and slings that he was doing. I got the oval profile. I'd got all the hutchie flavours, and some of the flavours back then were, nowadays you wouldn't even imagine using it. It's like the old stuff like grass, straw, worm. You know, it's the proper. But he had the tootie that was coming out. and the Scopex flavours and stuff like that. So I had literally what I'd call a designated carp section at the back.
Go on, the boy.
Just a wall, a board.
Where were you getting your influence from in terms of learning your carp angling? Obviously, this time, as you're saying, there's a lot developing, there's a lot sort of changing. There's not a great, compared to now especially, there's not a great deal about. But your development, you're talking about a potato, you're talking about hair rigs, you're talking about going into sort of carp fishing. What are your significant points at which you're getting your information from?
Back then there was no internet. There was Angling Times every Wednesday I used to buy. I think Angler's Mail was out at the time. But there was nothing. I feel lucky and privileged to have fished at that sort of time. Where now, you've got your YouTube, you've got the social media side of it all, you can find out anything you want. Everything's sort of like there, if you want to look for it. There was nothing. It was all a learning curve. And when you're fishing with like 2 or 3 of your best mates, and you're learning it bit by bit each week, and then that's working for you, you're doing it that way, mega times.
The canal, what was the biggest you had out there? You said you started with a 10-pounder, which ain't bad out of a canal, mate. I'll take that.
Back in late 80s, 10 was a good fish. I remember standing there in awe. I wish my angling was like that now, where I could like kind of spoil it for myself, where I could go and have something and sit there and look at it, wow, mega one. Not just due to looks or scale patterns or like big pecks on it, it's got a big overslung mouth. Just generally every single capture would be a mega one. And it kind of ruined myself to an extent. I had this conversation with someone the other week where I was on this winter ticket. I'd had a low double. He's asking me like, what weight? I was just like, low double. He said, but you must have weighed it. I was like, not really. And it's only when you sit back, you think after that, you think, do you know what? I'm missing out here. Everyone's a mega one to an extent. Might not be that magical mark size, or it might be that missing one that's been eluded for 10 years, no one's seen, or potentially never seen a hook, but every single one of them should matter. And I sat back that night and thought, do you know what, I'm missing the bigger picture here. You're slipping them ones back and you're thinking, oh God, I'm chasing a 47, 48 pound common here, and I've had a double. They all count, don't they? I'd rather have that buzz that lad's got who's come up to me and seen me on the bank. Grown bloke in his 30s, and he's like, oh, it's mega that. It's like, what a fish.
I think that's the magic of it, isn't it? The more you do it, like with anything, isn't it? You not get desensitized, but you sort of, your goalposts shift, don't they? You're always craving the same buzz as you get when you catch that first one, aren't you? And you're like, whoa. But it now, instead of it being a 10-pounder, is a 50-pounder. But you are right. They are all significant. And a capture is a capture. And you can't really be that selective in terms of what picks up your hook bait. But I get what you're saying in terms of that. The size of those carp and the sort of, I don't know, the angling in there, your significant captures over the course of the time you spent on that canal, did it change? Did the canal change?
Yeah, you tended to find with the canal. We live in where I live. Fish tend to have passports, even back then. So with the canal, it was quite public canal, cheap ticket, 10 quid a year for a junior, something like that. You had a lot of people fishing it. It's not like it is nowadays. You go down that canal, summer holidays or uneven, you'd have 50 kids. You couldn't get on. You'd have to walk. Couldn't get the bus early in the morning, so I'd be walking at like 3 a.m. with the old wicker basket. I remember I had a Nash hold all. I had 2 rods in that sort of thing. You've got a flash, you've got this, some sandwiches, 2 tins of meat, bit of ground bait, whatever, some sweet corn, and you'd be walking. It'd be like an hour walk while your gear straps digging into your back to get there, and it's just like you're striding to get there before anyone else got there. And you'd have like 50 kids on that stretch of canal during the day. Now you go and it's just empty. I don't think the club really has any juniors left in it anymore. It's just
no.
It's a shame the way it's gone. But what you tend to find with that canal system is, as soon as something got to 10, 12 pound, it'd be in another water down the road.
Yeah, it went walking.
Yeah, it seems to happen quite a lot around our area, where they tend to move lakes quite. If you ever wanted to target something around our way, you think, you know, that's a nice fish, that's a special one, or it does one capture a year. Generally, it's nothing to say. It's still swimming in that lake anymore.
Yeah, the nature of the beast, I think, especially with canals, they're quite open access, like you say. For you, from the canal, what was the next sort of stopping point in your carp fishing?
The club had a few waters, so we went on another water that was club owned. It was, I mean, they went to about £18-20, but it was a significant step up in size. I found it hard being on there. You're on the canal, it's full of them little tiny commons, 5, 6, 7s. You're getting the odd better fish, 10, 12s. Then it goes on to this water, and this water to me was, these guys were doing it. I mean, they got like
proper
fucking, yeah. These were the guys, like, I mean, they got 2 matching rods. I got 2 odd rods, got 2 matching reels. I've got some crappy like match reel. I've got this and that. My bobbins didn't match. I had the old Gardner pod, the old inch box steel with the cross-section legs, like, and I think I had the monkey climber bar that went across, the 2 monkey climbers on it. Wow. And I was doing it. I had that pod, the old Optonics XLs I bought through work sort of thing. And all I wanted was a matching setup. 2 rods, maybe 3, but 2 matching. And I remember, like, because you was working in the shop, stuff like that, you were young. I think I was on £7 a day, £8 a day wage. I was working, I ended up working 4 days a week after school, finished school, straight home, bike, straight down to the shop, and then I was doing a Saturday and Sunday in the shop. Generally rocking in on a Sunday morning on go over at the age of 14 from being out on a Friday, on a Friday and Saturday night, like, you mean, rocking in, going standing in the maggot freezer for 10 minutes, all of us, just to sober up.
Is that what it was, the maggot freezer?
Yeah. You just get a hit of ammonia just to freshen you up, and it soon sobers you up after when you're 13, 14 years old, you've been out for the night before. So we'd do that. So I was working all the hours I could, just all I wanted was this setup. You know what I mean? 2 matching rods. Remember our boss did a deal up in the air on a piece of string, like he'd put these 2 rods up there, cork handled. I think they weren't the Traverse X's. I think they were still Star rods. These cork handles, old school rods. I think they were 2 1/4 test curve, which back then they were I mean, you could punch the horizon with a 2 1/4.
Yeah, that's a beast.
Yeah, it was. Everything else was a £1 3/4. 2s were stiff. 2 1/4. You were going casting with them. You know what I mean? You were proper doing it if you had them. And then he put 2 still staff into the GX60s on them. One of the original bait runners. And they marked up at something like 180 for these 2 rods and 2 reels, and he put them up for 300. Right? And I was like, they're only like 180. If you buy them singly, it's like, yeah, no, but someone will have them. And they sat there, and these were like the holy grail. I was stood on the fish counter, I could see these rods. I was like, I want them. And I knew they were over. It was easy for me to go to the side and get them singly. I thought, I want a matching set. And that to me was like, I'd worked the hours. And I remember when I got my first 2 matching rods, 2 reels, I'd got me Nash overwrap, over Wavelock 60-inch brolly, 50-inch brolly, I think it would have been. I had the 50-inch overwrap. Got the old Detcher still from Argos, flowery, the old pattern thing. I was fucking rocking it, mate. I was doing it. You know what I mean? I was it. I was the one. You know what I mean? 2 matching rods, 2 matching reels. Yeah. It was like, and that was it then. That was really, really hooked. 4 nights a week.
4 nights a week?
Yeah, 4 nights a week. I was working. Worked for my dad sort of thing when I'd left school.
So this is all like houses, renovation, sort of trade stuff?
Did the office furniture. My dad had an office furniture business sort of thing. So I'd done that. I was still working at the tackle shop on the weekends. But I was out 4 nights a week, fishing. Straight to work. Straight back fishing, straight to work. Just maybe that's a little bit where it started. I'd fished the water with a friend that was an old like TB hospital, and in them grounds there was a little 2-acre lake, haunted to hell, whether you believe that or not. But
what do you mean? Whoa. Haunted to hell?
Oh yeah, I've took my lad on a couple of years ago just for the experience, like, and I've been on there for the night. Like, I used to fish. The lad who used to fish with at the time, good mate, he used to do a Saturday night with me. So I'd do like a Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night on my own, and then we'd get out on a Saturday night. So I was doing the nights on there on my own because I'd seen a fish in the margins that really no one knew of. Looked at 20, never had a 20.
Ghost carp.
Yeah. Seeing this old battered down mirror like and like a chestnut colour, and I thought, you know what, there's nothing over like 16 in here, and it's definitely 20. It was colossal back then. Never had a 20.
That's a big one though.
I'd had a couple of 18s, 19s, but I could see this fish in the water a few times. I thought, I'm targeting this, I'm having this. Some of the shenanigans that went on the night, it was in the old, it has history, that water. There's no one about. The guys who used to fish it, they'd all pack up at dusk and be gone. No one would do the nights.
Wait, what you seen here, mate?
I'd have been like 17, doing the nights, 3 nights a week on my own. And a couple of lads who used to work for me, they'd come down, like they were getting into the carp fishing, and they wouldn't stay when it had gone dark. It was an eerie place. You always felt like someone was watching you. It was uncomfortable. I used to dig my brolly down close to the water. They just could just tuck away. Yeah, I've had some. There's a few things that went on. Whether you believe in that sort of side of things, like, but I've had it where it's been 11 o'clock at night, no one about, the gates locked. I'm in the dense woods back where the old hospital used to be, been flattened. I've had like my pegs extracted of my brolly at 11 o'clock at night.
Oh, get out of town, really?
Honest to God. I've been on there with the lads I used to work with. Still a good mate now. He's still into his fishing. Does a lot down south. Been on there. He's come up at like 9 o'clock on a summer's evening, and my rucksack flew up the banking like it gone uphill. So why are you still on there, boy? I don't like that. That's not a bit of me. It's not a bit of me either, but for some reason I sat there, and I had that fish. It was a mirror, I think, just scraping 21 pounds. Fucking packed up and legged it. I never went back. I got off, threw my stuff in my van, and I was gone. Yeah, it was that your first 20 though? That was my first 20, yeah. Had that fish sort of thing. Glad to get off that water, but I wasn't leaving till I'd had it sort of thing. So, creepy place, proper creepy place. I took Archon on a couple of years ago, Halloween. I said, come on, we'll go on there. Like, an Archon's not really into that sort of shit. You know what I mean? Who is into that? No one really. Ghost hunters or whatever, yeah, they all love that. There's a little bit of a graveyard thing in the back with a couple of stones. I did that and all on there was a water house in Warrington that I fished in the graveyard quite a bit. In the Limdam. Yeah. Yeah, you're in the graveyard swims. They were really like. Mate, but do you think, I don't know, without obviously like your peg's coming out and your bag flying up the bank, I'm out. Yeah, but I generally am. The atmosphere, do you think that comes because the place has got a bit of a reputation as well and your head's sort of going a bit? Definitely. It definitely plays on you. Definitely. I don't like that. I mean, I believe in that shit because we've had stuff in our house at home, myself and Connor. Connor, I mean, it's straying off that, but Connor brought something back from fishing one night. Definitely brought something back in the house. What are you saying? What? I've invited you around here, mate. You make sure you leave them at the door. I'm leaving it here. No, it was a couple of years ago, about 3 years ago. Someone kept visiting us on a night, walking down the landing, going into Connor's room, coming from my room, going to Connor's room. Dog was attacking it in the corner room. Nothing there. I've watched too many horror films. I don't want to hear this, mate. We end up bivvied up in the back garden. Yeah. Did you actually? Yeah, it was about January time, bivvied up in the back garden. I'm like, oh, fuck this, sitting in this house. Archon's like, it's coming in my room. I can hear it, footsteps, dogs kicking off. I said, it's come from my room first. I didn't even know. So, yeah, it wasn't pleasant. It lasted for a few weeks. What, then just went? He dumped it on one of his mates. What did he do? Come here, mate. Come with me. He'd been out with his mates, on some water, wrecking in the water. And he'd come back and it started that night and he said, I'm sure, it sounds daft, but sure something's followed me back, come back to me, it's weird. And his mate was having no issues and he told his mates about it and his mate was like laughing about it. And then we had a bit of shit for a couple of weeks at home and then ended up at his mate's house. His mate had gone in from work, all lights are dancing in the house, this is going on, he's seeing shapes going down the walls. I was like, right, lock the door, don't see your mate again, leave it with him. Oh my! So when you've had that sort of stuff, you keep an open mind, and then you start thinking, well, there's definitely more to it. Not pleasant. Wasn't happy about it, but I've heard of a lot of lakes that have been haunted. Can't say I fished them, mate. Stay well away from them. Not for me. But yeah, mate, that is first hand to witness that and do all that is. But you got a £20 out of it, and to be fair, even now in this neck of the woods, a £20 is a significant fish, mate, isn't it? You know what I mean? They're a big fish. They're a big fish anywhere. You referenced that you'd had a few 17, 18 pounders. I'm guessing that's at the club water that you first went over to, was that? Yeah, that was the club water. Couple up to about 19 3/4. They went to about 21. So you started getting that feel for wanting that sort of better stamp of fish, that bigger fish. But one thing is clear. I know that there is the course of bigger fish, but here you are absolutely obsessed to the point where it is the main sort of mainstay of your life. I know you've got work. I know you've got the tackle shop, which in reference is fishing. And then you've also got 4 nights a week that you're doing consistently across the board, ain't you? Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. At that probably stage then, 17, 18, passed my driving test. It opened up all the doors so I could go to different waters and go and explore. I remember bought a book, Berkeley Guide to Carp Waters, 2000 Carp Waters.
Right, okay.
Kevin Maddox, I think, had done it. I bought that from Northwest Angling over at Hindley. Bought that from there, and I'm sat there and I'm scanning it on the banking, and I've got little pages folded over of waters, and orchid had come up, and Arnie was in there at 40. Like, oh,
going.
Yeah, I want to have. That was probably the first fish I'd ever thought of targeting, Arnie.
Was it? So that was an actual target. So you went down to Orchid, I'm guessing?
I never did it, to be honest, because I think maybe this is where a little bit me comes into it, where I learned about that, Arnie. I'd seen it in a few of the magazines pop up over like the next couple of years. I thought, I fancy a bit of that, going down to Orchid, having like a week here, a week there, and having a crack for that fish. And then when you're reading up, you're watching Dorchester Lagoon was on the same sort of complex, stopped at the same sort of time, left alone. I think that was about 90 acres, 110 maybe. Unknown. I thought, no, I don't want to go fish Orchid. I want to go fish Dorchester. The lad who was fishing with at the time wasn't for him. He liked the canals, he liked the local park lake, he didn't want to travel, he didn't want to do this. And back then, like, it was a smaller circle. It's not like it is nowadays where you could be on a water, you can get chatting to the guy in the next swim to you, and it's like, I'm up for that. You drive, I'll split the fuel. I'm up, let's go do it. It was like 17, I think I'm driving all the way down that way on my own, going on this 120 acre pit. I've never salted a fish before, bigger water. Never did it. Wish I had. I mean, Dorchester now's mega place.
Oh, incredible, mate. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But again, like, to have that thought, to go through those processes, like, you sort of, I don't know, it's a prelude to what's to come, isn't it? In terms of a lot of your sort of structured angling is very much like collate information, find a place, what information there is, and then sort of say, right, well, I'm going to do it. And then you're on there, aren't you? And you're concentrated on whatever it is. You're not really a flitter, are you? You ain't doing a week here and then going for a week here and then doing a week here. They're little mini campaigns, all of them, aren't they, really? Yeah,
it's all or nothing, basically, with me. If we discussed before, there's a water and all that, I wouldn't mind a little bit of a dabble on there. My biggest mistake I could do is go and stand there and have a look and see something, because it's all out. I mean, work gets pushed aside. I've done it before. We've been on the water, and it's like work, not turning work for 9 months.
You are mad, mate. No, we've had a chat when we were planning this, mate, and we'll talk about later the sort of, it's almost what you're willing to sacrifice or what you're willing to give to get it done. And for you, there don't seem to be anything apart from family and the sort of real core stuff. Like, yeah, you've done some mad stuff, haven't you?
I have no limits. You mean it's the best way to put it? Our Connor's more the parent than me half the time. He's trying to keep me in check. But yeah, he's like, you need to be in work. So yeah, I just want to be out fishing. Who doesn't?
Talk to me about probably a very significant place, well, to both of you in the future, but the Flash, mate, if you like.
Yeah.
That very much, yeah, as a prospect, it's mental to start with. But you started that in a very different place to which you ended that. Talk to me a little bit as well about the Flash, because obviously we know what we're talking about, but a lot of people won't.
Yeah, it was a place that it popped up a few times. It's only local to me. Never been there, never seen the place. Knew it was a good size. It was actually in that Berkeley book. Yeah, was it in that Berkeley book? It was in the Berkeley book, and it says small water, 200 acres. It's like the biggest in the area. Small water, possible big carp, £2 a day, something like that, and just a brief description. And probably that's where I'd clocked it at first, reading through that book, thinking, that's near me, it's a big water, it's way out of my depth. I'd fished a couple of 50-acre pits at the time, local. Got used to catching on there consistently, going up, giving it a cast with a bait, and I thought, fancy a bit of that. It says big carp, I want a big carp. So decided, and then over the space of time, you're talking to people and they're like, oh yeah, there's some colossal carp in there, big ones on 30s. I believe it's done a 40, and it's like 20 minutes from home.
It's 200 acres though.
200 acres, yeah. But apparently back in the day, it was slightly different water. Because obviously doing that campaign on there, doing a 4-year campaign on there, probably clocked 600 nights.
Did you?
Oh yeah, I rotted on there, good style.
600
Yeah,
nights.
I lived for it. Did a 9-month session, didn't go home. Came home, got a new job, lasted 3 days. Went back for 3 months.
What in the world?
Spent me Christmas, New Year's there. Yeah.
What, all on the hope that one of those big uns is in there?
Yeah, I mean, at that point, that was probably second year in. Fell in love with the place. Just wanted to be there. Was in work and everything's been like, started work and think like where they could be, where they should be, where they shouldn't be. How do we target this? How do we solve this issue that we were having on the overkeeping lines in the water or undertows, weed situations? Just live for that place. And I've never had a place that sort of like encapsulated me before where it's just so much. Just want to be there. Obviously, I fished it with my son. He was in the same mindset as me. Everything just about that place. If we weren't fishing it, we were up there. We were wrecking, we were out on the boats looking for new ground. You could spend months, never see one. And suddenly find 3 fish. Go and have one.
Like, yeah, fish. You fished it, you referenced Connor there, but you fished it before Connor, didn't you? You got on there before Connor was, even born. That period of time, you said it was different back in the day. There might have been a few more in terms of numbers. But when you go on to your first, and it is a proper big pit, deep, a lot of like different sort of contours, topographies, areas to deal with, access being an issue, I'm guessing, even back in the day. What are you thinking? What's going through your head when you start then?
I'd looked at it. I'd had a couple of walk rounds, sort of thing, trying to find a decent area that you can get into where I don't think there was anybody else fishing at the time, but I wanted somewhere that no one else could sort of step on my toes. If I'm trying to get something going with bait, I could put bait in and no one else can sort of get to that earlier fish or reap my rewards for me. Went down and approached one of the farmers right at the very bottom end, which, looking back now, was the Holy Grail where I'd go. And
why did you go down there?
Just went down there because it was private land. I could be tucked away. I had Connor with me. Connor had been about 6, 7. So it's quite a public place. I didn't want anyone coming over sort of mind me or any grief or questioning sort of thing. Thought I could just go over there, chill out with my lad, get my rods out, and just sit there and hopefully it comes good or you can get something going. It was... She used to think, charge me £5 to be on there. Could take a boat, could do what I wanted. So it started about April time. Wrong time of year. There's 5, 6 foot deep. They're not there in that time of year. Come June, July, they turn up. But at this point, my lad wanted to start learning fishing himself. He wanted a 2-rod setup. He wanted to have a try and catching a few himself. Wasn't the place to teach a lad. You know what I mean? It would have ruined him before he even got into fishing. So I had to sort of wave goodbye to the place, knowing that I'd go back, but just when. I'd like to have gone back with my lad, Connor, when he was old enough, and he was like, he had that confidence to go on there, fish with water like that. So I had to go and do the other scenes, the day tickets, get a couple of club cards, get him used to catching, fish curve.
So pretty much, you've discovered your passion for the place, you've sort of been immersed in it. Connor's come along, which is so to speak, but there's a lot within that obviously is obviously personal to you, but essentially you're a single dad. You've got a nipper that you are now solely in charge of, and you know that you can't commit what you want to the flash. So you've then gone, right, I'm going to cut it for a period of time and basically teach my nipper enough so that we can both go back on there. I'm guessing that's the overall plan.
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted him to come on there with me. I was going to go back, whether that be I'd have to wait 10, 12 years, 15 years or something like that to go back. I would have gone and done it on my own. It's the only place I sort of like really wanted to be. But it would have been a lot sweeter if he decided. If he was at that stage in his angling where he thought, you know what, yeah, I want a bit of that. He wasn't though. He was still happy on his, at the time when it came to going back, we fished the club water. It was a special one in there, the big lane, like the Queen of the Lake, 20 acre mere. Archon wanted that fish. We'd gone on there, fished it a little bit. I had her on my first night. I got lucky. So I'd had her, and then I had her again on my last night on there.
Oh, you had her?
Yeah, very first night in the lake. As this fish, like this linear, mid-20s. Dropped a couple of lads of messages who knew fished for a few years and said, like, is this her? It's like, yeah, you've got her. She hadn't been out for about 7, 8 months. Then she went to a mug. She'd come out every single week. Twice a week. Yeah, I was lucky to have her when I had a sort of thing before she got to the point where I was thinking she's gonna go belly up here now. She's too consistent. Like she's literally once, twice a week. She's properly on that feed where now you tend to see it where that's the last like 5-6 months, and then they suddenly go belly up. And she was a stunning fish. I had her stayed on there for the year. I had a good few fish, and then I had a red letter one on the very, very, very last session. There was probably 5-6 A-list fish in there. I had all 5 in 2 hours.
Jeez.
Milked it. So it was a swim that no one was fishing. It'd been overlooked all year. I'd clocked it probably a few months into fishing the place that this wasn't seeing any lines. It was up to an island, probably 120 yards. No one was on that swim. So I focused on that swim and 30-odd fish in 3 nights.
Gee. Baiting, I'm guessing, a lot.
No.
This ain't been a feature, okay.
No. You're going to cringe now. Bait boat job.
That's all right, mate.
Yeah.
Get it done.
Yeah, bait boat job. The lads had bait boats on there, a few of them, but I was lucky enough I'd got a camera system. So I'd gone out, it was a very weedy mere, typical mere. I'd gone out to the island, found a little tiny dinner plate hole, placed a rig, and then if you've ever been lucky enough, I know a few of the guys out there have got the camera systems now, they're more popular. You look at what happens when one comes in over that bait, that spot, suddenly it's bigger. Goes from a dinner plate to a bin lid to literally a table. It got too blatant at one point. Had to find another little area off that island where I could sort of drop a little bit of bait, send the boat out, double hopper, put my rig in, and then I'd move it across left, drop a boatload just to try and clear that little patch off round the corner. But yeah, I had a blinder on there the last trip I think I went on. So Connor had stayed on there, and I decided I was done. It was going to a syndicate. There was nothing left in there that I sort of wanted. I ticked him off. So I could drop Connor off at his syndicate the year after, and I could go up onto the 200 acre and fish it. Did a couple of sessions on the recce, not so much fishing, just go up with the boat, having a look around, trying to find good ground to get on. And got a phone call off Connor. They were spawning on his syndicate. So I came and picked him up, and I knew, your own lad, like, big, massive 200 acres, windswept, big, massive sunset coming in. I thought, I can have him here. Takes him on there, like, we'll just go up, flick him out, chill. That first night, nailed him. He was hooked. He said, like, sod the syndicate, like, she can wait. This is me.
Why do you think that is? In all due respect to Connor, is he in quite an early age of his carp fishing there, right? And I'm thinking in the normal sort of general public that the early part of your carp fishing is about getting some bites, especially when he's come along. It's about getting some bites and also catching big uns regularly. You look at the media when he came about, there was loads of people, 20-pounders, a nothing fish, if you like. There's loads of 30s, 40s and whatever. Why do you think he took to going on there and, as you said, became hooked? Do you think it's your influence in terms of your style of angling and what you want on him?
I think we both developed together at the same time with each other. Obviously, I was years in front of Connor, so I was thinking he was only young. When I look back a couple of months ago, I thought, did I influence or did I plan it this way? Where, as I'm teaching Connor to fish, it was like, we did the Cudmore, we did like the canals, we did the local parks, and then you're stepping onto a deep pit in Manchester. 30 acres, 90 foot deep. Went onto there, then we left there and we did some other big waters. Was it a progression for me to sort of train him up to want to fish that? No, it never was. But it worked perfectly that it fell that way. So when I wanted to be on there, that's the first sunset. It trapped him like.
You definitely both share that mindset. I've talked to both of you on and off, sort of filming bits and whatever else, mate, and you can see that there is something in that sort of solitude, that unknown, that vastness, that isolation, and the sort of the drive to actually do it. A lot of people might, do you know what I mean, say, yeah, stick it for a bit and then go, but you'll see it through, as we'll talk about with the Windermere campaign as well. The Flash, you've been on there, you've got your boat, you went down into the farmer's sort of private thing, you come back after Connor's he's hooked now. What had you actually seen?
That place was always like, there's 40s in there, there's 30s in there. And it's a big expanse of water, 200 acres. It's low stocked. Generally, there's a lot of bream, 2,000 bream, between 10 and 18 pound. So it's still not a lot of fish for that size of water and depth. So there is room to grow and there's potential, but that's only depending on what bait's being seen or the naturals. Bait-wise, nothing going in it. There's only me, my lad, and one other guy we got friendly with who hit it hard like. But the naturals, it was mega rich. So you're then looking at thinking, well, the potential's there. The food source is there. They've got the space to grow. There's always that chance of being realistically something going 30. A 30 from there is mega. Right?
A bite from there is mega.
It is, but if you're going to give it a good hit, you're thinking like a 30 would be like the ultimate. I knew it had done a 30 a couple of years ago as I'd pulled off 12, 14 years earlier, waiting to get back on. There was a guy started fishing it. He'd had a 31 2-ton common. I knew that fish had passed away a couple of years later. It'd been washed up in the boatyard, so I knew that was gone. But it showed it had the potential to grow fish to that size. The food source was there. So ultimately, that's what you're hoping for. Any fish, I just wanted one fish. But you start falling in love with the place, and if you're happy being there and you're enjoying it, does it matter if you've had that one and you stay for 2 or 3? You stay till the love falls a little bit, or you've got somewhere else that you want to go to. If you've got nothing else lined up or somewhere else that you've been wrecking and you want to move on to, you're happy, stay there.
In terms of the actual prospect of fishing it, you said you went out, you were having a look at some sort of, I don't know, appealing ground. What sort of ground are you looking for? What do you settle on? You're not going to see them necessarily for a while. So what do you go with? Prevailing winds? Do you go with depths of waters? Do you go where you've heard of fish coming from before? What do you do?
Started, I think, probably July time, so it's midsummer, peak. Weeds up. Found, I think, 4th night in, found fish straight away.
Found them?
Yeah, 4th night in, found a few fish, cutting into probably the easiest swim to access, over towards the car park into a bay. Bay's probably 20, 30 acres in size. They were cutting in on an evening over what we call no man's land. It's like a really coarse gravel bar that ran out into the lake. They were coming over that into about 2-3 foot of depth of water, but you could see the V's. They'd push into that bay, probably 25 acres, 30 acres, mill round, push back out, and they were just doing a circuit.
A bay 25, 30 acres, Jesus.
So that was the starting point. I thought, right, bump, you've seen 2 or 3. It then spoils it a bit because I'm thinking, like, if you've seen 2 or 3 in there after such a short period of time, is there more than what I thought?
Is there 100? Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm not interested. I just want one and run. If it's hard, I want it. If it's easy, no, it doesn't appeal to me.
So if you saw 100 fish, you just catch one and go?
Yeah, I'd run. I'd catch one. My lad would have to have one. He wanted one, and then we'd run. It's a mindset sort of thing. I'm my own worst enemy sort of thing. I want to be beaten. I want to be beaten. I want to be punished.
Absolute madness is what it is, Scott.
I want it to wreck my head. I want to earn that fish. If it comes easy, it's not really worth it. Do you know what I mean?
So if there's 2 fish in there, let's go the opposite scenario. You catch one of them, mega, big buzz, wicked. You are going to stay on and try and catch the other one.
Yeah, because there's not many in there and it's hard. I'd give it another 5 years, 6 years.
Oh, just 5 years.
So we'd seen them cutting in, got a route that they're constantly taking, not every night, but they were cutting in, and we had a mega southerly coming in, 60 miles southerly. Remember stood in the water with the waders on thinking, fuck it, this is mega. You know, if it's ever going to happen, it's going to be tonight. But it's 5 nights in this. I mean, we'd done 5 nights, I had nothing at all.
If it's ever going to happen.
Yeah. And then it happened. 6 nights, I had one.
Oh.
Marginal.
No way.
Ollie style, half a wrap.
On bait as well?
Yeah, just a little scat. I'd waded out up to the top of my chesties, like, found a little bit of firm ground, cleared the blanket weed off, little bit of bait crumbed up, rig on it, 7 in the morning. Sat there, looked up, one touch, that typical rod just rattled around, doubles over on itself, melts. I'm thinking, probably a tench this. I know it's quite a tenchy water, you know what I mean? But it's going for it. Next thing, 17, mega one. Like, everything that you could ever want from this fish. Like, no barbs on it. It was like a linear with these little black broken up scales all the way down its lateral line. Proper, like, cut out of its tail. It was proper hard life, this fish, but mega fish. I was like, our con wasn't with me. He'd pushed off a swim down. I rang him, winding him up. I've had one. Like, he comes up, like, and he couldn't believe it. Sat there, like, staked in him with a net. Gets it out, and he's like, I want one. And that, if he wasn't already hooked, I had him nails were in the coffin then. Like, he wanted one. So that was it, full-blown campaign to get Con 1 and then decide what we're doing from there. Are we staying or are we going? Didn't it?
Oh, mate.
And sat there and rotted for a year.
Did you?
Yeah, I think my next bite comes 11 months later.
Oh,
and when I'm saying like a year, it's not like I'm lucky. I can fish 4 nights a week, every week of the year.
Yeah.
My lad was the same at the time. We sort of like work wasn't really on top of our agenda. This place had took over, so we could go on for a couple of weeks and just get another job. It wasn't really an issue. So we were fishing it hard, a lot. Connor did a year for his first fish.
Oh, mate. That is pure mindset, because I don't know many people nowadays, especially at the age he is at this time, that would do that would do a year. Yes, don't get me wrong, the scenery's beautiful. Yes, it's isolation, it's peace, it's time with your dad. But at the end of the day, like a lot of people, and that the emphasis is going carp fishing to catch them, but that's a different, complete mindset. To do a year without a bite, incredible. The key to sort of generally pinning them down on there, was it just a case of lapping and finding them, or were you baiting areas, or what were you going off?
We were baiting areas. Your first year in any water is a learning curve. It's trying to find like patterns of where you've seen them, where they're visiting, trying to trap them down, sort of thing, spotting them by the boat. The very first year we'd stayed off with a boat. It was a club water. It was 20 quid a year for your ticket. There was a boat sailing club on there. You're not allowed a boat. You're complying to the rules that the club states. Second year, said to our Connor, look, we're going to have to go out and spend some time out on this boat. We've got life jackets. We've got the engines. We're safe. Got walkie-talkies, one on the bank, one in the boat. We can communicate with each other. We need to go out. We need to be seeing something. If we're going to put this much effort in, this much time and bait, it's 100 kilo a week we were putting in this lake.
What were you putting in?
A lot of seeds, 10 kilo barley a week. So obviously it comes at a cost.
Blinking hell, yeah.
Yeah, so then a lot of corn, maize, stuff like that. Just basically, we worked out if you bring the bream in, which we were trying to avoid for the first year, them bream in, that realistically 25, maybe 30 carp and 200 acres, you tend to turn up with them bream. Where them bream are, they're not far from them. So second year was a different approach. Give it them. Let them bream move in. You tend to, I'm lucky that I had the camera system, so I've got 25 metre cable on it. I can drop that down. I can look at that baited area and think, right, this is what's left. And when you're dropping that sort of bait in 100, we went on one night, put 100 kilo out, 10 o'clock at night. Dropped in another swim where it was between autumn and summer. We knew where they sort of could be or should be. They weren't in the summer swims. I went down the following morning at 7 o'clock, put the camera down, it had gone. 100 kilo.
100k?
Yeah, I was like, shit.
And you said probably what 1,000 bream?
Probably, 1,000 to 1,500 bream, or between, say, 10 and 18 pound. And dropped 100 kilo. Went out, 10 hours later?
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Nothing. Just the odd little barley sat there,
And you reckon that stir up of sort of bream activity, they just got off the back?
They were sat there looking at me, put the camera down 18 foot of water, got down to the last 4 foot, and everybody sat there looking at me for another handful. I was like, this isn't viable. This, you know what I mean?
It's going to be torture, isn't it? If you fish over that.
Yeah, we've been doing that for months, putting that volume of bait in. You're turning up with wheelie bins, reeling it down the bank in do you remember? There's a famous picture of some guy, I can't think who it is now, you have to excuse me for it, but I think he's in a big boat and he's filled it with bait and he's stood in it. You'll probably know the picture, and he's literally got a spade, and it's an iconic picture, and he's spade. That was generally a weekly.
God, the cost as well, mate, as you say, would be madness, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
In terms of boilie, you got 10 kilo of boilie in there each week, it's a lot. Did you ever worry that the carp weren't going to sort of take boilie, so to speak? Because you're talking about there's a few people that have fished it, but they're not exactly pressured carp that have seen a load of boilie before. They're normally eating naturals off the weed, I'm guessing, most of the time, or whatever else is about.
Yeah, it was trying to get them to switch over, and that's why we'd give them a lot of seed, bring them bream in, and the barley. But in the back of my mind, I'd had that fish 6 nights. Yeah, true. I'd had it on a candy nut. So, I'd had it on a candy nut. So, took with a piece of corn, marginal. So, I think they've had that. A couple of crumbed up bait sort of thing, but probably a bit of hemp or buckwheat down. So, they're catchable. It's location. That's all it comes down to. So if you sort of can bait an area, no one else fishing it. There was me, my lad, one other guy we'd met on there, nice guy, good mate, we got friendly with. So if you're giving them bait, you're just trying to hold them in one area, draw them in. So we'd done that year. Con hadn't had one. Probably clocked 100 nights in that first year.
Jeez, yeah.
I'd only had the one. Seen them a few times, but you're not seeing anything show. You're not going out the boat. You're not finding them, so you know it is mega low stocked.
You seen a 30-pounder or not?
No, nothing. When you do sort of like the second year when we'd gone on, the bream was spawning, and I'd gone off at 4 a.m. in the boat, reeled my rods in, gone looking, searching, needing to move. I think we'd been on for 4 or 5 nights. We were on for, I think, a month session. Needed to.
A month
Yeah, that's a short session for us. Got on for the month. Thought, you know what? I think it was just after COVID we could go fish.
Yeah.
So we said, you know what? Sod work. I mean, we just walked rock in. We're busy. They need us. We'll just do a month. So we'd gone on, we'd done a month. And I think it was like the 4th morning. I'd gone out on the boat, 4 o'clock in the morning, and found these bream and this carp. Like 3 or 4 carp with them. Just cutting through, dropping down onto a plateau, just smashing the eggs off these bream.
Yeah, bream spawn.
Radios our con, like, get up, drop your shit. We're up, we're gone. Moves over, puts rods out, sort of thing. Dump the stuff, dump the boat, sort of thing. Jump back out in the smaller boat, goes out, shows our Connor. It's like that's one. Small stuff, like there was a little fully scaled miller that we'd never caught. There was probably about 4 or 5 pound, but there was 1 or 2 like scraper 20s there. One that looked quite considerable. So we'd gone on there, got the rods out, sort of thing. Then I had to take probably 10 o'clock at night. Had this better fish that we'd seen from the boat.
How big was that better fish?
25.8, 25.10, which wasn't the 30, but it was a mega one from there. Kind of called it the wrong one because the fish that we had, or the ones that you, with very few pictures that you'd seen on the internet, or you could sort of dig up from the history archives, they weren't that sort of stamper fish. Wasn't a Simo, but once gone out to place in B1.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So it's put the size 25, happy days. We'd actually seen that fish the year before because the guy we fished it with a little bit, he'd had it at 26.
Yeah.
So, but when you're thinking that's the best you've seen off the boat, when it's that one again, it's sort of a bit disheartening. You know, when you're hoping for a 30, you know what I mean, from the sort of thing, or just a few, then got the rods back out, I had another one 2 hours later.
Jeez, go on, they're on it, aren't they?
Yeah, there's another one, same spot. Rods back out, as another one. So I've had like 3 fish in like 6 hours.
Oh, mate, that's mad on there.
All 20s.
All 20s?
All 20s, right? All mirrors, all mega. Like what you'd imagine if you drew a fish from the like 200 acre pit, wild pit, all got their own characteristics, like proper mega one, buzzing. But then with me, I get a low.
What do you mean?
I mean, you've just done really what is potentially 3 years angling in 6 hours. But I've got our consul next to me. He wants one. He deserves one.
Right.
He's put equal amount of effort and time and money into that place as I have, and I've just had 3. So now it's all about getting Connor 1, getting Connor 2. They're on that spot. You found them. You've only got probably a window we've discovered of maybe 10, 12 hours where they'll push again and you might not find them for another 6, 7, 8 months. So you've got to capitalise on that. So it's literally kind of get rods on them. So we've got rods on them. And then the night's passed away, nothing. Got up in the morning, got on the boat. The bream have gone.
It's all done.
It's done. It's over with. But there's 1 milling round. It looks like that wants to do the off with the rest of them. So we moved down a couple of 100 yards thinking like they've either pushed left into deeper water or they've gone down towards the car park area. So we'll move. So we moved a couple of 100 yards, got rods out, and I had another one straight away. Literally.
Shut up.
The one I'd had 6 hours earlier, same fish. Probably moved 80 acres away. As this take, puts it on the mat, and see a hook holding its mouth. I think you're right, hook slipped. It's in the net somewhere, so I'm carefully lifting the net up, trying to roll it over, slide the net from underneath, get the hook out, and it's nailed in the other side of its mouth, the rig. I'm like, no way. I thought, who's that? You know, no one's fishing it. Where's this hook hole come from? And it's only when you rolled it over, it was the black-eyed mirror that I'd had 6 hours earlier.
And it's 80 acres away.
Yeah, and then you're thinking, shit, this is low stock.
Yeah, proper.
Yeah, it's either like you just holy grail, you just won the lottery.
At that time, if Connor catches one off the previous spot before they've done the off and all that sort of stuff, if he catches one, you're done.
Not necessarily. Yeah, you should be. You should run a mic. You know, it's like we've put the time, the money, the bait, everything's gone into this place. Like, I mean, you've had what you wanted. You've had one each. Like, Connor had already had one at this point, but he'd had a £3 common. September time for the floods come in and we had to call it quits. So actually we didn't. We fished it all winter and all. We just sat there and rotted for the winter. We did Christmas Day on there, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, sat there. Just, you know, you're pissing in the wind, but where else do you want to be? Then you could Archons
at home with a roast dinner, mate. A bit of warmth from the telly.
I mean, we've not had a Christmas dinner. What, we're in now, second week of January? Not had a Christmas dinner yet?
Yeah, fair play.
I mean, I opened my Christmas present the other day, 2 days ago.
What'd you get, yeah?
My dad.
Oh.
It was, me and Connor, obviously, we were out Christmas Eve. Presents were taken, so I think.
You had a present and a half for Christmas this year, boy.
Not even a drink of alcohol.
You don't need it on that buzz, mate, I don't think.
Christmas dinner, 8 o'clock at night, 4 Richmond sausages each. Got 60 quid's worth of meat sat there, do you know what I mean? Sat there, just, you know what I mean, grinning, happy, done.
Yeah. Mate.
To me, that's what it's all about. It's not... I'm pretty transparent. I joined Instagram probably May last year. Archon was pushing me for 2 years. Oh, get on it. You mean, you want to be on this, stuff like that. You mean, there's just people on there like the same mindsets as us, doing this, doing that. Never really interested in me. And for some reason, I just, one night, sat there, said, right, one, yeah, here's my phone, sorted. And on there, I'd like to think we're both very transparent. If someone asks us, I'm dead honest with it, people. I'll tell you where I'm fishing. I'm not going to give you me wraps and what bait I'm on, sort of thing. But everything sort of goes on there. Or if not, it's Connor's documenting it all video-wise.
Yeah.
Filming it. It's being shared to stories. Try and be completely transparent with everyone over stuff. So when you're on that like 200 acre pit, stuff like that, there's no one to hide that from. No one's really going to rock up there and start like sheeping you up and getting like affecting your fishing.
No.
But it got that way on probably the third year. Because you've got lads who are walking around like the scene, like, I mean, 2 bivvies up constantly. You're on 4 nights a week. If you're not on for like 9 month session, I wouldn't believe that there's nothing in there. If you went down south and pulled up at a wall with your missus and you're having a walk around with the kids and the dog and you're seeing the same bivvies every week, same area, you'd literally be thinking, there's something in this water.
Why are they staying
These
here?
lads are on it. No, just idiots. Just sat there. Do you know what I mean? You fell in love with the place. Where else to go? Until you burn out. You feel like you've had what you want or they're not in there. You're still hoping that there could be a potential 30 in there. It's not the end of all. I've had a 25. We'd had a few fish. Probably clocked about 20 odd fish in 20 fish in 3.5 years on there.
What's the biggest?
Was that 25? 25, 8 or 10 that I'd had. That was the biggest one. I'd had a couple of low 20s. Con hadn't had a 20. He'd had 3. He'd had a couple of like low doubles, stuff like that. But live for it, buzzing for it. It's mad you fit back in. Like, someone had commented on that video that was done on SIP and they put, sat there for 3 years, quit jobs to catch doubles. It wasn't about the fish. It was about that quality time with my son, doing something that both encapsulated. You just literally just wanted to be there with him. Right? You're happy.
Mate, it was incredible. That video, the SIP video that you're referencing, incredible video, but it shows, I mean, only a fraction of what could have been your time on there, but it shows the toils you had with the weed, floating weed beds wiping you out, the bream, all sorts of different things that on their own are enough to put people off fishing sort of regular venues, but you times it by 65 because you're on, or 200 because you're on a 200 acre pit. It was mad, the dedication that went into that, regardless of the fact you got a result in that place and it's unknown and everything else. Mate, it was, I mean, I put a video out with a couple of doubles in, no one's watching it, no one cares, but the fact that it's from that environment, that place with everything sort of stacked up, mate, it was incredibly inspiring, but you saw sort of what went into it. There has to be real dedication. So for somebody to flippantly try and discredit it. They wouldn't go out there and do that. I've talked and said various either comments on social media or voice notes or whatever we've shared between us, and you don't seem to take the sort of praise or the accolades or the sort of respect side of things well. But, mate, I love my carp fishing. I love my fishing full stop, but I could not, and I have not got the mindset to do what you guys have done on that flash, but also preceding that in the other chapters that we're going to talk about, mate. So as much as like I sit here and sort of, it is massively inspiring to sort of feel that passion and that love and that time that you guys have together, but couple that with the challenges that you're facing. You're basically like murderers on life sentences, getting out of jail and then going into another one and getting out, ain't you? Because you could have been on there. Realistically, mate, you could have been on there 10 years, couldn't you?
5 years. We said 5 years for one each. Trying to be realistic there, do you know what I mean? I mean, going back to what you just said then about obviously the comments, you just say it's the salsa water that we fished and stuff like that. I'll say it on here now because I'm new to Instagram. I'm no one of anyone. I'm just a general guy who wants to go fishing and loves being out on the bank. Not so fussed if I've got a rod out. I'm quite happy to sit there.
Yeah.
Just want to be out of the house. Do you know what I mean? I want to be out fishing, spending time with like-minded friends or my son if I can be. But I have a real low self-esteem. So where you're sort of saying to me there, like, obviously, it's mega that, I struggle to cope with that. Yeah, I know it's slightly different type of angling to what most are doing, going fishing them unknown waters, big pits, stuff like that. 200 acres isn't massive by any standard.
Oh, it's pretty big, mate.
To some it is. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. And I keep trying to keep respectful for that when I talk to someone like, you know, I'm fishing like this water, and I'm like, it's mega that. You know what I mean? It's a good water, like it's 10 acres, it's got like 300 fish in it. I'm like, yeah, but you've had one, you've had two. I remember that. But I'll look back to that. I still fish that water now. I'm doing a winter tickets on the water like that. I'm not enjoying. I don't want to be there. I'm being punished on there. I'm going straight from here to there, and I won't fish. I'm going to sit there for 24 hours and just chill.
That's mental, isn't it?
Not even putting rods out. Four scopes, front of the van. They'll sit there, more than likely. Last week I did 3 nights on there. Fished for the last 6 hours.
Caught one, though?
I had one, yeah. But I didn't want to be there. I need to be somewhere, but I've got nowhere to sort of be.
Well, you've just come off the back of, I mean, again, I talk about life sentences, but the flash is one thing. Incredible angling, effort, toil, all that. Giving up work and all that sort of stuff. But the Windermere campaign took, I mean, life sentence ain't the word, mate. You could have both your lifetime, Connor's lifetime, my lifetime, and anybody else's, and you still might not produce anything because of the scale of the place. And you've done it in a year, ain't you?
Too quick.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Too quick.
Come
So
off the back of that.
It's not deserved.
Oh,
It's not. It's started there probably. I mean, Finn, when he came up day after Boxing Day, what a guy. Do you know what I mean? Credit.
Dodden, huh?
Yeah, what a guy. I mean, you've got to give him a mention. It's really a lot of respect for that lad. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, I see his angling and stuff like that. We've messaged a few times, and he's actually took an interest in it because it's on his doorstep. It's his back garden to an extent.
He's given you... Todd Hunter, I love him. I love him, right? He is giving it a bit of interest. There is no way that boy is going to go and do that on there, mate.
If we put him 2 simmels in, he might have a crack.
You're going to have to... How big's Windermere, mate?
3,644 acres when it's not flooded.
So he needs at least 3,400 fishing acres. So you're going to have to fill that properly in, boy. Do you know? I mean, no, I'm joking, but
mega respect to him. He'd come up sort of thing, bottle of champagne.
Yeah,
2-hour drive. Spent 7 hours of us risk being stuck there in the floods of us. We couldn't even get out, and he'd come up bottle of champagne, chocolate, stuff like that. Yeah, it's surreal.
But I say he's the other end of the spectrum to you, isn't he? In terms of he deals with, and he does enjoy it. And no doubt he's had a crack on some incredibly tough venues. I know he probably will do in the future. But in terms of his time, he goes down the other side where they're pressured fish. They don't behave like normal. They're in sort of, day tickets where people, even though there's a lot of fish, people still struggle. And he goes out there and absolutely smashes it. That I see is sort of the other end of the spectrum to you guys. Whereas you're going somewhere where you ain't sure, you don't really know. There might not be any anglers. You're the only ones on there, and you're sort of fishing for shadows sometimes, mate. Especially, mate, on there.
I mean, Windermere. I mean, that's credit to Connor. That one. We was like, where do we go? We'd done one between the flash and Windermere. We'd done another water. We spent a year on there. And it's like, you're always looking for that future move where you're going to go. And Connor just brought it up in conversation, probably taking the piss one night, like saying, let's go for the ultimate. And I was like, you know what? It's a bit of me there. Big winds, storms, 2-foot waves, fishing 300-400 yards out to plateaus. It's kind of like, yeah, ticks all the boxes. Let's go do it. So we'd gone up. Connor was doing some piking in the winter, probably about January last year.
Yes.
We'd gone up and I was wrecking. Going out on the boat, looking for ground, decent ground. Obviously, it's 11 mile long. You can't cover the whole place. Looking for shorter, shallow ground, but then it can drop off deeper for the winter. So when the autumn comes in, you've still got a good depth of water near that baited area.
Because there is an awful lot of that place that's, not too deep, but like proper deep, innit?
200, 250 foot.
God, Jesus.
Yeah, it's deep. You can be going out to a spot that we'd started baiting at 427 yards. It was a spot. And you're going out there and you're going over like 145 foot of water. And then you're creeping up, you're going like 100 foot, 90 foot, 80 foot. And then you're coming up to a plateau.
I mean, just what you're saying there, I don't know how many people have ever experienced that in the UK as a venue where you're going down to those depths and then up to that and you're baiting areas like that from a boat. It's just not happening.
Yeah, it's different, right? But yeah, it's different, but it's what we like.
Yeah.
The problem being is you've only got so many waters like that around here. I mean, we're lucky up the north. Down south, every water sort of a gravel pit, it's stocked, or it's on a ticket, it's on a syndicate, or there's means and ways. Someone's got it.
I'll tell you what was interesting, especially when we were planning this, and we'll come to Windermere because it is incredible. But there were chapters in between the Flash, the other place that you went to, where I'm going to reference two fish that are sort of key. They're still about now. They're in a different water in Lincolnshire, but two big uns that you sort of went on a quest for that was more, I don't know, more commercial, more sort of, I don't know, highly stocked, more known, definitely. The motivation generally for your fishing is to sort of get immersed in these big waters and not really know what you're going for. There might be a chance of X and Y. But that place very much was two big uns. Was that just because it was part of the sort of Connor progression and you wanted to get a few big fish, if you like, under your belt? Or was that because of another factor? Because when I looked down the list of stuff that we were going to plan and talk about, that one real stuck out at me. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. The two big uns, I mean, don't get me wrong, Windermere and the Flash, they stick out at me because of the place. But this is very much a different focus.
Yeah, this is slightly different to what we do now, but it's what we was doing at the time, fishing like sort of like club waters, commercials, still a little bit, venturing onto them bigger waters. Con was still in school, exam year. We'd gone on Christmas, we always did. 6-7 nights out at Christmas, get out, do the Christmas dinner with my dad, open presents, and run. Get out, have a week, come home, New Year's Day, stuff like that. And this year we thought, do you know what? We knew about them fish. It's close to home. No one's really been fishing it a great deal. Nothing much has come out. When I spoke to the owner, I actually know the owner through work. So,
right.
Dave, really lovely guy. Both Daves. One sadly passed away, now the son. So the older Dave, I spoke to him and he'd been fishing slow. We'd had them big floods like we've got currently at the moment. Water was up 6-7 foot. Trout lake's gone into the main lake. And he said, but if you want to come on, Scott, you can fish it, but we're sort of shut because of the flooding. But if you want to come up with your con, have a couple of nights up, come up. So we'd gone on.
What's the size of it pre-flood?
Pre-flood, it's not the biggest of waters, so I'm not going to big up that I've had this fish from some 200 acre. I wish I could. But it was, I'm guessing, probably 10 acres pre-flood. And then the trout lake's probably 1.5 acres, 2 acres.
And you had two 50s, were they at the time?
No, there was a 50 and a 40.
And a 40,
and I think you had measles sat around 36.
Okay, cool.
But hadn't been out for a year or two from what I imagine, so it could straight 40 yet. Possibly. So we'd gone on and it was flooded, all the trout lakes into the main lake. It wasn't looking on the street, stripping down the lake. Gets a couple of rods out, thought, you know what, Con slept in the van. I tried to just get my bed to the highest level and sleep in the water on the peg at the bottom. Yeah,
Mad.
stupid shit, just typical of me. So we got rods out, not feeling it. Second night, I come smashed it like he has a take. I think he explains this story on his thing. Yeah, it was bizarre, like, but he has this take. It's in the net, and it's Tootie, 41-12.
That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean he's 14 years old. And
what's the backup stock in there? There wasn't a lot, was there?
No, I think 150 fish in the lake.
Yeah.
200. Few missing over the years, like not restocked, so they're not replaced. And then you got the big girl, you've got another one, and then you've got one about 37. And then after that, I'd say it was a low 20s water. Because when they netted it, most of these fish were 22s, 23s. So I'd say it's a 20s water with three special ones.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what? He's had this. Conditions are horrendous. There's only one left to have. Let's just do it. So we clocked 22 nights from Christmas through to March, on and off. 5 nights here, a couple of like ringing school. He fell down the stairs. Hurt his back. Oh yeah, there's no limitation, Hassan. It's like if we're going, we're going. If the weather front's coming in, or you've got like, it's looking good for it. Or you've had 2 fish from your last trip on that spot and you get back in that same swim, there's no limitation.
But this is all about that fish, isn't it? The sort of...
It was.
Yeah, the place, the scenery being there isn't the thing. You just want that.
I want that fish.
What do you...
Simple.
That fish, obviously, a real big one. Even at the time, it's now gone on to do what a crow he had here,
64.
So, obviously, a mega in terms of size fish, mega looking fish. At the time, before this, preceding this, your sort of PB, where were you in terms of biggest fish you captured?
I've had a few trips to France. I don't include them. It's all my fishing. Everything on that I ever publicise is always UK fish.
Yeah,
UK for probably 30, I'd had a couple of 30s from a local match water that I used to bailiff, so I could do the nights on there.
Right. So you'd had a 30.
I'd had a couple of 30s from this water. Yeah.
Right.
Everything apart from that was the deep pit in Manchester, 26, 27s. Okay, so a considerable jump up for what was in there. I'm not saying to catch it, but I knew I was having it. I'm not big-headed. I'm no one of anyone. Do you know what I mean? Like I said earlier, low self-esteem, not good enough for anything. That's just me to a T. But I knew that fish, don't ask me why, I was having that fish before it shut, and I think it got 3 months before the fishery was closing. And it was obviously being transferred down to its current home. I told everyone, not being like Danny Big Bollocks, like you're saying, I knew.
Why? Why'd you say that?
I don't know. I can't explain it then. I couldn't explain it now. But I knew I was having that fish. It was a matter of time. And I knew I was having that fish for that place shut. And that's not being big-headed or saying because I'm a good angler, because I'm not. I just knew that fish had my name on it. Can't explain it. Never felt like that since, never felt like that before.
When you were going there, were you fishing the same areas? Were you fishing known areas where it had come from? Or were you going off basically what you'd seen on the previous trips or whatever?
We'd done clock 22 nights in total.
Yeah.
Right, before it shut. Never seen one fish show.
Never seen a fish
It's dead of winter. You mean, we were going on there, it was -8.
Not even heard of it at night, nothing?
No, nothing showed. Not even one single head, not a roll, nothing at all. We kept focusing on, I think it was peg 71, 72.
Why?
Middle of the lake, central of the lake sort of thing. So you could see, stop looking. I like the hunt. Really, I'm quite happy to find them and not fish for them, just as long as I know where they are. That's enough for me. I don't have to catch one.
Right.
I've won if I know where they are. So you're looking for them shows, seeing nothing at all. Pardon me. It's winter, dark at 4 o'clock. You're passing out at 4:30. You're waking up at 9. You're wide awake. But we were getting consistent action. Really, it worked out like we'd go on for 4 days. We'd have 2 each. No one else was catching. I'm not saying there was nothing else coming out of the lake, but once the period that we were on there, no one else was having a fish. So I think when I spoke to Dave after that campaign, he'd said, I think, did 22 fish in 4 months that late. 21 was to us. Done one other fish.
Why do you think that is? Because you went on particular weather conditions or because you were fishing it a certain way?
Certain way, definitely a certain way.
Go on.
Fishing singles, which wasn't really me because well, you might have gathered I like my bait. But fishing singles, 10 millis trimmed down on the German rig.
10 millis trimmed down?
Oh, yeah.
Proper small?
Oh, yeah, proper small.
Bright ones?
No, white, milky whites.
Okay.
Trimmed down sort of thing, putting them in, leaving them for 3 days, letting the sediment cover everything. You can see the build-up on the line coming through.
Yeah.
And then basically you'd have a chance. Now, most lads were going on there for the weekend, 48 hours, 24 hours. You had lads turn up, 5 kilo bait out.
Yeah.
Dead of February, like you think, pissing in the wind, mate. I mean, fish for a bite, build on it. One bite, that's it, that's all you want. So we'd had a few, I think I had a few more than Connor. He'd had the 40, he'd had a 26. I was getting like singles, low doubles, the odd 20 maybe. But I knew that fish was mine, just a matter of time. I clocked 1 or 2 more nights than Corn, school night. He'd stay at his mate's house, I'd go up for a quick 24. But primarily it was both of us fishing it as we could. A week here, 4 nights here, 3 nights there. I was just coming home, smashing the work, and then going back up, paying for the ticket, going back on again as much as we possibly could. Very last trip, which was, I think, was 3 days before it was due to shut, the lake. Sorry, 5 days before it was due to shut. We'd gone up for 5 days. And it didn't fish when there was no wind. When it was flat,
Dead.
Yeah, horrendous. You learn that very, very quickly on what I do. I find quickly when it's working, I keep a reference to that and I'm thinking like, this was the conditions, this is when I need to be there, can focus my time on being there when I've got the best chance of a bite, basically. So we'd gone on there and we had this mega wind come in. And I think I'd had 2, Connor had had 2, been on there 4 days, gets this mega wind coming in and Connor wanted me to nip to the garage to get something over the road. And it's a double dual carriageway. I wasn't letting him go over. He'd have been 14 at the time, not letting him go over.
Okay.
I was like, and bite time was between 8 o'clock in the morning and 9 o'clock in the morning. And after that, you just sit in there for nothing for 23 hours. It'd been that all winter bite time.
Just
that 1 hour window. Wasn't the warmest part of the day. It was just that window. And it got to 4 o'clock. I was like, Connor, I'm not going. It's like bite time. I'll go later on. And it came to 4 o'clock. I said, right, I'll nip. I thought, it's quiet. Leave my rods in. I can be there. It's 2 minute walk back. Can't remember what. He wanted something. I can't remember what. And I've got 3 swims down. I've turned around. Connor's lent into a fish.
No.
So I've come back up and it turns out it's my rods.
Oh.
He's straight away, he's got a fish on my rod. So he passes me the rods like, no, you've hit it. You deal with it. That's the way it is. It's
right.
Like,
okay.
Well, it's your rate. I said, no, it doesn't count, Connor. If I took that off you now, it's just my mentality. If you've picked that rod up, it's all my work, it's all my rig, everything else. But you've hit it, you play it.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, we're quite bad with each other, to be honest, yeah.
I don't know who's fished at it. Well,
it's no one's fish.
Yeah.
No one's fish. So he's like, no, Dad, seriously, this could be her. It's big. She's using her weight. She's kiting.
Oh, no.
And it could be. Sure it is. There's only 3 in here. And he'd had 2 teeth 6 weeks earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good for a bite, but it's unlikely. You got that feeling in the back of your mind, it's unlikely.
It's not
one of the other 2, maybe. Everything else is low 20. I was like, no. So he's put the rod down the floor. Just see the spools ticking. A little bit of line coming off. And the guy next to him comes up and said, I'll have it. No chance. So Connor got threatened that if he didn't deal with it, bring it in. He was walking home, probably taking 5 days. I said, go, you're walking home, mate. Get that fish. Get it in the net. Done. So it comes in. And it's 2T again.
Which is a bit of a touch, really.
Yeah. So I turned round. I've unlocked it for him. And he sat in his trolley systems at the door down. He's like, put her back. I'm like, no, you're having a picture? He's like, no, put her back. I was like, right, how about a joint picture?
Yeah.
Something to hang on the wall. Like, you've got your family stuff here now, Aston in the house. It's something to hang on the wall, a memory's sake. We both had it. My bait, my rods, you've reeled it in, you've played the fish. It could have come off, could have fell off, but joint effort, something to share. We've never had a braised picture. We've never had a picture like that. So why not? So he's got a face like a slapped ass. I mean, he's proper not happy.
Is he not?
No. So he gets in the picture. He's looking the other direction. He has a quick picture. Done. Slips her back. And he's gutted. he's literally pulling himself apart, Connor. I was like, what's up, mate? And he's like, if I hadn't have asked you to go to the shop for me, it'd have been a PB. I went, Connor, it doesn't matter. I don't want, I mean, I'm not going to turn around £40 Northwest Common. I'm having her. And we've got 2 nights left. I went, I'm having her. Not the one I wanted. I'd have took her. I was a little bit, but not the end of the world. I knew I was having her for some bizarre reason. Couldn't explain it. Still can't. Then we've got rods back out sort of thing. I had one through the night, scraper 20.
Okay.
Following day comes, I'm thinking, my time's ticking here. I start doubting myself, thinking like, God, I'm going to look a bit of a knobhead here. I've told everyone that, I mean, she's mine.
Yeah.
And then David come round, he said, like, look, we've extended it now. It's due to the netting. It's going to be another week. So if you want to come up, fish another 4 nights, I won't charge you. You can fish it for free.
Fair play.
I said, like, look, thanks, Dave. I will pay. He's like, no. You can come up fish it. I know what it means to you. You want this fish. So you can fish it for free. Pick any swim. And whoever's booked that swim, it's yours. I said, I wouldn't do that. I'd drop in around people. He went, no, if you want this swim, you can have the same swim. So I said thank you to him, stuff like that. The very last night before he was leaving to come back for a couple of days later for that last 4 nights, we got this mega weather front coming, winds pushing at us. Probably the best front we've had since we've been there, like in these 20-odd nights. And he has a bream. It's 8 o'clock at night and he has a fucking bream. I'm like, oh. But bite time was all 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, except for this one. Second capture of Tootie was 4 in the afternoon.
Rogue, yeah.
So I'm thinking, it's 8 o'clock at night, rod back out, and it was freezing, -11. It was proper cold. Got icicles hanging from my bivvy. Con's got fucking fan heater going. He's got carpet in there. I upgraded him for that last session. I upgraded him. I paid for electrics. I got his fan heater going. He's watching E4. Big bang. He sat there with a pair of shorts and t-shirts on in his bivvy system, like, and I'm in the next one with icicles forming. He's like, get in here, watch this. I said, I can't. If I get in there and I get out, it's 10 times worse once I get out. I'd rather just, so I'm sat in the doorway, shivering. And he sat in there cooking, like. So I'd had a bream. I put it back out, same spot. Half an hour later, bream. Puts it back out. And we hadn't been bothered by him. Puts it out again. Fucking brilliant. I was like, he's taking the piss. Same rod. And then 4th time, and I was like, you're not seriously putting that back in that spot, are you? I went, no. And I went to put it somewhere else. And just before I went to put it there, I couldn't. I thought, I can't. I went back to that. I angled again to go back on that spot, at that distance, that wrap. I thought, no, it's Bream City out there tonight. It's not happening. And I fought with myself, and he ended up putting it back on that spot. Couldn't put it anywhere else. It had to go back on that spot. And I said to Connor, it's the one. And he's laughing. He's ripping me. He's taking the piss out of me. Oh, give it 10 minutes, another bream. And it had been about 20 minutes, 2 touches. That's all our angling's, a lot of our angling's 2 touches. Connor mentioned it. He seemed quite fascinated with that.
Yeah.
Where it's 2 touches. Pendle was the same. 2 touches in. The locals are laughing, saying, oh, you mean, line of what they're doing. And you're in the net, voter.
But you're hitting them, aren't you?
2 touches, yeah.
2 little bleeps.
3 ounce inline lead from what I can remember. It wasn't a heavy lead compared to what I'd normally fish. I'm fishing 24 ounce of lead in the last couple of months. So 3 ounces to me is light. But at the time it was like standard. I think it was a running lead. Can't remember.
Okay.
Right.
What's you indicated then? Is it settled back to where it was before? Has it stayed up? What's gone on?
No, it's just them 2 touches. It's not the biggest of lakes. You're not fishing like them 300-400 yards out on braid. You're literally fishing mono, 40, 60, 80, 90 yards. Well, probably couldn't even fish 90 on there due to the swims facing you. So you're probably 60 yards, 70 yards average fishing. Bobbin's pulled up. Probably that back down one.
You've hit it?
Oh, yeah. I know. That's how it'd all been like that. All been bites like that. I hit this fish and I'm like, fucking brilliant. You know what I mean? We're walking off this rod and I'm starting to lose my temper with it. And I hit this fish and it's like, no, this is a proper one. So I shout to our Con, like, said, Connor, we're here. It's here. It's something good. You've had Tootie 18 hours earlier.
Yeah.
It's not going to be Tootie.
So it's
shouldn't be.
Yeah.
It's measles, or it's the one I've said my name was on. So I'm sat there and She starts kiting left. Didn't give her a great account for herself. They never tend to do them better fish. They use the weight, they kite. She's come in to the margins, head torch on, fucking back comes up, literally facing us, and our con's like, it's her. And then she does one. She beats me for about 20 seconds, gets her back in. I can remember her rocking on the spreader block. And it's bizarre. She was on the red block, spreader block, nets at full reach. She wouldn't go in. And do you know what? It's bizarre. But if she'd have spat me up, then I wasn't asked.
Shut up.
Honest to God, swear down, I wouldn't have been asked. And I spoke about this with our Connor at the time. A couple of days later, he's like, what do you mean you wouldn't be asked? You wanted that fish. You told everyone. I said, Connor, it was more about proving to you. You were 14, 15 going into his exams. It's all about if you want something enough in life and you work hard enough for it and you try hard enough, you can't always guarantee it's going to happen. It's life. But if you put the effort in and you get it, it's all that matters is that you've tried. Right? And in a way, it was my way of proving to you that I knew I was having her. I wanted her. And that anything's achievable if you set your mind to it. He's a 15-year-old lad, do you know what I mean? You're trying to like turn him into from a lad into a man.
Yeah.
If you work hard, things are possible in life. And I thought, you know what, if it spits the up now, I don't give a shit. I've proved to my lad that I could catch you.
I'd want it in that net.
I fucking want it in that net. But at the time, that was my mentality. Just think like, not that I asked. It was bizarre. Like only for that split, probably 1.2 seconds. I was like, fucking get in that net, you bitch.
Yeah.
Literally, I was at the point of I would have got in for her. Anyway, I mean, it was frozen in the lake, sheet of ice. She goes in that net, and you think it could be tootie. It's got a split peck tootie.
Right.
There's one called Shoulders in there. I've been out for a few years, kind of on the missing list, but could be. I think she was last out at mid-30s, but it's a big fish. Lifts her out, obviously gets her out, so I was thinking, lifts her on, thought, she's bigger than tootie. Feels it. But the adrenaline's there. Puts her on that mat, and we're both stood there, and he went, can't be tootie again. It's different shape.
Yeah.
But at that moment in time, everything's rushing through your head.
Yeah, of course.
Flicks it over for the peck. Not the peck. It's a different fish. It's got the bitch. I fucking have, yeah, I've got her. You know what I mean?
It was be the worst name for a carp as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, and do you know why it was named that? Because I think when it was first time it went 30, some guy dropped it. The guy who had it, the first time it hit that 30 mark, he dropped it on its head. No. And that's what Dave told me, Dave Hardwick, the owner, he said that's why it got called butthead. Because it busted its head on the floor.
How big was it?
When I had it?
Yeah.
Right. I had her at 50 pound 8 ounce, but she was bigger.
What do you
Not
mean
much.
She was bigger?
That session, the scales had been dropped down the steps. Go for that last session. So obviously, the collaboration could be out slightly on them scales.
Yep.
When we'd had Tootie second time, she was 41.12 first time. I think she went 40 pound 8. Only like pound, couple of ounces down in probably like 6 weeks period. So, and then obviously butthead, 50 pound 8 ounce. But 2 days later, a week later, the lake was netted.
Yeah, of course, when she was making.
Yeah, but Dave panicked, the owner.
Right.
Because in the following morning, I said, like, obviously, I'd had a sort of thing. Like, you mean, he's like, what weight?
Yeah.
I was like, 50 pound 8 ounce. He's like, shit. He said, you're off in a couple of hours, aren't you? I was like, yeah, we're going home. And he said, right, if I send you some bait round, you put it in on the spot you've been catching from. And he said, because, I mean, it was a bit, obviously he sold a fish that's 40 and 50. Now, obviously, it's that 50, it's not 15, it's 49.
Different matter.
Part of his contract deal with that was that fish was 50. So he's actually twitching a little bit, thinking, like, if it gets netted and it's not, I'm losing a considerable amount of money. So he brought me 50 kilo around. Banoffee, I think it was.
Right.
Out to the freezer, he went, give it him. Now, there's other lads on this lake who've just got on for like 5 days. And like, they know, we've been, I said we're very transparent in our angling. I'll try to be. And they know I'm fishing singles. I've told them I'm fishing singles when they're asking, are you being consistent and catching? And then they're watching me with a throwing stick and our con like 50 kilo bait. And they're ringing up the office saying, these two knobheads over there, like, are putting 50 kilo in and they're packing up. And he's like, yeah, you can have a refund, but it's going in. I've asked them to. She was actually 51.10. She was. It's nearly. She was a 50.
Mate, it's a 50, innit?
50's 50. You know what I mean?
Even if that's significant, to be fair, like, I don't know. Yeah, I think the more you do it, the less that becomes significant. But I suppose, yeah, at that time, for what's going on preceding that, in terms of it being sold and in terms of the weight of it, it is important, especially obviously to the owner and everything that's gone on. But as a capture, mate, and to be fair, as a complex, sort of see out the end of it and have the final capture as must be nice, mate. No?
Yeah, it was like, it wasn't a surprise. Like I said, I wasn't being big-headed about it. I just knew I was having it. And then that time's ticking and you're thinking like, I'm running out of time here a little bit. And then it was like, I remember when I knew it was a different fish, I let out a shout. And my lad knows I'm not quiet. Everyone who works with me or fishes with me, do know me through general life, I'm not the quietest of blokes. I've got a mouth on me. I can shout loud. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it was 8:30 at night. And this noise come from my tiptoes. Our con jumped. Every light on this lake comes on.
Yeah.
They knew it was something, you know what I mean? What I shouted, like, the language was a bit choice. And literally they all come round. It was nice, I mean, to share it with people, but the main person was there with me, Connor. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about, that. I told everyone, when I have her, I'm getting in the lake with her for a water shot. Like a knobhead had jumped in. You know what I mean? I'd be bank shots, like, you mean, on the mat sort of thing, and then I said, put the retainer in the water, like, got Connor to hold it, and then fucking hot skipping a jump straight in, dove in.
Wim Hof stuff going on there, mate. That is cold.
Yeah, -11, I think it was.
Yeah,
The lake was frozen. Gets in, sort of thing. It looks like waders in the actual photograph, but it's not. It's all my thermal gear. Every item of clothing I got with me, except for the jumper. So, does a couple of mega water shots and that lot. Puts about, like, they pull me out the lake because I can't get out because I'm not.
Yeah, because you're frozen.
And I said, so I can nip to the van behind us, like, get me clothes. No clothes.
No clothes?
I'm wearing everything that I've got. Right, so I'm sat in his bivvy with a fan heater.
Oh, yeah.
With, I think, 15-year-old kid's T-shirt, and that's what I've got. I'd a pair of shorts or something like that, you mean? And that's me, middle of fucking February, freezing. Didn't feel it once. Do you know what I mean? Just when you're on that high, when it's something that you've really wanted or something that you want to achieve, that high, money can't buy that.
Where does that high rate in terms of that fish and then your fish from the flash? Is it different?
Yeah, they both rate up there, but that 50 is a 50. Northwest 50.
So there is a bit of an element of weight. It's a weird one, isn't it? Because there is an element of weight in there. That the situation where you're fishing the location ain't the thing. It's known. It's very known. And then you've got the stuff that's sort of completely the opposite of that, almost, that you've done in the two venues, Windermere and the Flash, that is completely different. But you're saying that significance of it being a 50 is a bigger buzz.
Yeah, I'm from the Northwest. Yeah.
50s don't happen.
Yeah.
Well, they do.
They do. They're a lot more common nowadays. You know what I mean?
So why not do it there then? That's the question. Why not do it at the Park Lake, the Manchester Park Lake? Why not try and do that 50 or others?
That came up. It was on the following morning. Obviously, I'd had her at 8 o'clock at night, let her go, spoke to the owner, the bailiff, let her know I'd had a sort of thing, questioned whether I should have retained her for the netting purpose, because she was being netted 2 days later in case they were doing 2 nets, and that was it. Why I had her there, and they were like, you should have retained her, you could have had better pictures. I said, well, it's not my fish to retain. You mean it's yours. Heaven forbid something would have happened to her.
God, yeah.
So let her go, sort of thing. And then when I was talking to the bailiff, Matt, he'd said to me, where next? Like, I mean, you do like these little campaigns, you and your lad sort of thing, where you going next? And I was like, well, there's 1 or 2 things that it's been in my mind, but it's exam year. So I'm sort of, we're tired. You know what I mean? It's an important year for Connor. Like, I mean, this is his future. I said, but it's going to be like little small personal things. So he'd mentioned the deer park.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, I know about that fish. Right, it's up there, but it's days only. Con's got his exams coming up, and I was busy with work. I didn't feel like I had the time. I could have gone on, but couldn't have done the time I wanted to do to fish it the way I sort of wanted to fish it. I had a couple of mates who'd had that fish. I've seen the pictures. Sat in awe in it. Yeah, it's a proper one. Proper one. And then maybe I put it on the back burner, thinking maybe when Connor's left school in a year, he's going to college, he's going to have the summer holidays. So it wasn't a no. But I said, I've also got this other lake that's been on my mind for 14 years. I've been itching to get back to. Okay. And he's like, oh, where's that? I said, well, it's local to me. And we're chatting. He went, oh, I've got another water, one that you want to have a crack at. I went, where's that?
The Flash.
Yeah. I was like, funny you should say that. So that was it.
I get that. That's that.
Yeah. I needed to go to the Flash. It'd been so long. Con's at that age, like I said, one of his mates used to sleep at mine 5-6 nights a week, and then I could always pull a favour where he could sleep at their house, sort of thing. So if I wanted to hit the Flash, maybe 3 or 4 nights a week, I could sort of. Con's old-headed. I could trust him. His mate, I couldn't. But I could trust Connor, and my dad would keep an eye on him. I could probably be out 1 or 2 nights a week, and then maybe take Connor 1 or 2 nights a week and fish it if he wanted to. But that's where I wanted to be.
We've obviously been through the Flash chapter. Why then not go into that sort of, if you like, not scene, but that those venues that are local that have got the big uns in? And you've named the Deer Park. I've named another one. They're known sort of northern waters which house big carp, and obviously the fish there, butthead being that £50 mark. Why not, after you've done your Flash chapter, done what you've done there, why not go to those places and catch those fish? Why go ultimately to Windermere?
Well, we didn't after the Flash. There was another water.
Yeah.
That had come up, 70 acre pit, another Flash, same area, probably a mile down the road, but had 30s in it.
Why not?
It wasn't about the 30s. That the 200 acre, right? The Flash was about the experience, about the boat work, doing the different style of fishing, the freedom, fishing how you want, spending the time with our con, chasing mythical things that might not even exist in there, which clearly I'd say now don't. Maybe one in there now, because they have put a lot of weight on.
Right.
100 kilo weight they're going to do. Our very last, we went back, we did, in case I forget, we did another lake. We did 12 months on another lake.
Yeah.
Clocked 37 nights in 12 months. Had 24 fish. And it was a water that produces anything from, say, 10 to 15 fish a year throughout all the anglers on there. It's a tricky one. And then we went back to this 200 acre just for the winter, knowing where they should be. Did one night and had one each.
Jeez.
The one that I had, I think it put £7 on in a year. Put £7 on in a year. The one, it was a repeat capture of mine from the year before. And then Connor had one. I think that had put about £3 or £4 on. That was the one that I had the year before and all. So they've packed it on these fish, but that's 100 kilo, really.
But it's interesting. You said that obviously there's the other 2 venues post, but they're not those known big fish venues. There's clearly more of a draw. There is the size element, but there's more of a draw.
The unknown.
Yeah.
The water I'm currently on now, the winter ticket got offered. Mega stock of fish. It's got the fish. The venue's a nice venue. But I'm bored shitless.
Yeah.
I'm going straight from airport. I'm going to put a rod out. I'm going to do 24 hours. I'm booked on.
I'll tell you what, you find them, call me, and then I'll get in a swim.
I get more of a buzz of finding them than fishing for them, to be honest to God, in the last few years. But if I can hunt them, find them, spend 16 hours walking and find them, don't need to put a rod on them. And it's wrong. But that's just, it's an element that I've just got enjoyment from. Where Connor's got his camera side of things and his editing side and his video, and I've got the side of just hunting them, not necessarily catching them. Stupid as it may be.
3,000 acres, mate. That's hunting.
Yeah.
You talked a little bit before we went down that sort of segue into Butthead about getting on there, about one of the spots being 100 odd foot up to wherever you were baiting and regularly baiting it. Now, when you go on there, have you got any? I know, and again, it's quite hush hush. There are people that have fished it. There are people that have caught carp out there in various means. How much did you know? How much do you collect from those sources before you go on to? Because let's face it ain't your 200 acre, mate. This is the absolute pinnacle of sizes of masses of water that are out there that we could possibly go and try and catch a carp from. How much did you know about what could be in there? How much did you know about areas that may have been fished? Did you know anything?
Obviously, Google nowadays, got Google Earth. You're looking, you use all that to your advantage. Years ago, you didn't have. You search of stuff, but there's nothing. But you wouldn't expect anything, because if it is being fished or campaigned or targeted for a couple of lads doing a little bit of a mission on there, trying to catch one, they're not going to share much. Right? It's going to be kept quite quiet. To put to the EA came and paid me a visit up there because they heard that we were on there fishing quite a bit. So 2 officers came up, had a good chat with them for a few hours, and they thought I was taking the piss when I said that I was on for the carp. They thought I was on for the pike. Opened the back of the van, like, showed them 30 kilo of scopex squid, like, showed them the boat, echo sound, the fish finders, underwater cameras, all this lot. Showed them big gripper leads, and they're like, fair play to you. You actually have a crack. He said, there's no one really... I'm not really naive. There's people got, like you just said, who's fished it, stuff like that. Have they done the duration to have one? Some people put over had one. There's people probably on the tip. He gets fished a lot for the tip. They're in 200-pound bags of bream in a day. They've potentially had one, hooked one, lost one, or landed one. Not trying to proclaim it's like the first one out of there, or one of the very few that's probably done a few fish that you don't know under the radar.
I think it's to fish it like you guys have fished it all in, all out as a campaign. I don't know many.
No, I don't imagine there would be some. I'm not saying we're the only ones trying to claim that, but definitely by the period that we've not been on long, but the period that we were on, didn't see anyone. I mean, it's 11 mile long. You're not going to see someone tucked away, but EA wasn't aware of it. I'd called in the local tattle shop once. They weren't aware of it in Kendal. They weren't aware of anyone carping on there, even one coming out. They were quite...
You mad people.
Yeah, they thought I was taking the piss when I went to the tattle shop. When I went in, because I was up on my own for a couple of nights and I found some perch and I thought, I'm bored shitless. I'm only fishing the nights, can't fish the days, because the spot I was fishing, the ferry's coming past me every 20 minutes. I'm fishing braid. I don't want to be getting cut off, leaving rigs in out at 300-400 yards, and that spot I was fishing at the time. So during 7 o'clock in the morning, reeling in, going for a swim, going for a walk with the dog, chilling out, and then putting them back out at 10 o'clock at night. It's not fishing. You're pissing in the wind. You don't even feel close. You don't feel close if you're fishing effectively for 24 hours. Never mind 7-8 hours a night. You're sitting up there. I question my own sanity a few times. I've put it on me. Yeah. I've put it on there as an Instagram sort of thing a few times. I've questioned my own sanity. Never in my angling have I done that before. I'm sat there. That's why I can't be normal. Just get a club ticket. Get a syndicate ticket. Find something in, like what I've got now for the winter. Go on there and have some enjoyable fishing, like where there's 300 fish in 20 acres, like the show, you can hunt them, you try and get on, probably have a few. And then if you go and do that, I'm bored.
Right, talk to me then about, I completely get that. That's where I am, okay, from the off. Talk to me about where you start. You've got no intel. No one's going to give you anything, nothing from the tackle shop, nothing from the EA. Everyone thinks you're mental. You're questioning your sanity. It's a life sentence, full on. Where do you start in terms of that? You've got all sorts of depths, all sorts of topography, all sorts of different areas. You've got water sports, you've got a ferry, you've got 3,000 acres, you've got a complete unknown stock, and you're fishing it not based on what you've seen, even though you've got underwater cameras and you've got a sonar echo, all that sort of stuff. You're fishing it in the hope that something's going to rock up in you.
Yeah, bait, solely bait. I mean, don't get me wrong, like I said, Connor was piking, I flicked him out with a pike, quickly got bored, it's not for me, sort of thing. Tried to get into it, my lads into it, it's not for me. So I was going out wrecking quite a lot during the day, so you're out looking for good ground. Decent depths in the summer, because this is like...
What's a decent depth?
I want to be in a depth where, first off, I'm looking for the route of the ferry to take. I don't want to be in looking for that like crucial 8 foot, 10 foot water, some like summer depths, and the ferry's going over. And if I'm giving it 100 kilo, I want to know my 100 kilos sitting on there, not being washed and swilled and dropped down gullies and ledges and into the depths. I want to know I can keep that bait on that spot or around that spot. So you're looking for the ferry routes first, trying to avoid them. Straight away you can work out within a day where they're going. They follow the same course. You've obviously got other power boats on there, but 10 foot, they are quite slow. They're avoiding it, you know what I mean? That sort of area, they know it's marked with boys, stuff like that. But then you want to look at what's around that area. because we've decided 5 years on the Windermere. We'd give it 5 years. I'd rock for 5 years, right, to try for one. I only want a £3 common. That's me. Just one. Just that shot in the background, one, done. But we need two, because we need one each. Right? So I could go wing it and have one in the first night, but I could be sat there for 5 years. Then I could have another one. Still not had one. Then you give it another 5 years. It's a sentence. So you're looking for good ground. I'm looking for somewhere that then drops off into a flat. You know yourself, there's a lot of drop-offs off in there. There's a lot of big ledges, stuff like that. You can be on 10 foot and suddenly drop down to 40. I'm looking for something with 10 foot within 18 to 20 foot around that sort of area for the autumn that I can just pull back a little bit and have a decent depth to actually fish in and feel confident that I'm not sat in 10 foot of water come November. Didn't really plan on doing the winter on there, but I've got nowhere else to be. It's a 2.5 hour drive. I thought, it's viable. Do the winter up there 4 nights a week. It's quieter. Can probably fish a bit longer, keep my rods in a bit early. It's dark at 4. The ferries have gone. Keep them in longer. But you never envision a winter bite from there. You're always thinking that pre-spawn. You're also, the bottom's very coarse. It's a lot of slate, a lot of big rock, donkey stones.
Yes.
You're looking for that silty ground where you're going to get weed growth come summer. And there's very little.
Is there?
There is. If you go left or right, there's quite a considerable bit of silt, bit of weed, gets choked in the summer, but access is bad. Okay. I've got the dog with me. Con's not always with me because, like I said, he has different days off work to me. So I'll be up there fishing it 3-4 nights a week on my own, and I'll be baiting it. And a few have commented on it, which I'll clear it up now, where they're all saying like, "Oh, all the graft seems to be you." It's not. It's equal graft. But if I'm up there fishing, Con's in work, Con's at home cooking. If I've just took 100 kilo out of one of the freezers, Con's at home replacing that 100
How
kilos.
much you putting in here, mate? You're putting a lot in.
I mean, we fished a lot together. I probably only did an extra 6 nights than Connor.
Okay.
But I was going up there a lot.
What are you putting in bait-wise as well? That must be a lot.
Same again, particles, boilies.
How much?
How much? Every week, 100 kilo. Maybe 150 kilo. I know it's getting breamed. I'm getting eeled. Savagely eeled. We would go up and we were fishing like on that long spot we first started fishing. We were using 24-ounce lead, 2 12-ounce grippers, cable tied, just to hold bossing with the toe.
Yeah.
And you've got ferries going over you constantly. Semi-floating braid, you don't want it. You're not backleading on there. Like, you haven't got enough line. So you're using like a semi-floating braid to keep it off the bottom as much as you can. Right. Samir touched on it on a podcast he did with yourselves just before Christmas. So we've been using that up there. And just to avoid any sharp, obviously, rock, stuff like that and ledges. But we've been giving it them every week. I'd quite often go up there, go out, give them the bait, go onto the island, maybe have a swim. Even like back end of the year, go have a swim, so I anchor the boat up, and then come back in, sleep in the van, and then set off at like 2:30 in the morning, do the drive, go straight to work.
Really?
Not necessarily fish it, but I mean, it's like now painting your skirting boards. It's the preparation work that takes longer than actually just putting the gloss on.
Right.
So people like Finn had asked how many nights. And realistically, probably just under 40 nights me for a bite. Our Con probably 30 nights. I've done a few more. But
that's incredible, mate.
You can treble the nights that you've been up there not fished.
Yeah.
I mean, you're up there, you're wrecking. You spend a lot of time up there wrecking every week just for that, not perfect ground. I knew where there was really good ground. Couldn't access it. I could have done it for a park my van where I was parking it and then jumped in the boat with all my gear. The dog, Connor, gone down that end of the lake. Dog doesn't travel well in a boat. He'll sit there for 5 minutes, thinks he's Jack Sparrow. Then after that,
he's had enough.
He's jumping around. He's a big staffy.
Yeah.
He's jumping around on an inflatable boat in the middle of the lake, 200 foot of water with all your gear. I ain't losing my gear. So that's sort of vital. And it's private down there. We told, could you anchor up 2 foot from the shore? You're not on private land. You're 2 foot from the edge. Really, you're doing no harm.
But it ain't worth it.
It's not viable, really. It's just to fish it the way I'd want to fish it myself and Connor would. It's the way we'd have fished it personally.
But not with a dog.
But not with the dog. And then there's no parking overnight stays up there. The wardens are quite easy going to know you're fishing and you're being respectful. You're not got a fire going. You're not being a nuisance to anybody else. just waving them on and an acknowledgement wave. They leave you alone. But I think to dump your van there and disappear, it would be sort of like, you know what I mean?
So you basically picked a spot, baited it.
The best of what we could find, yeah.
Yes, the best of what you could find in terms of viability, access, etc. But you've put a lot of finance into that bait. Clearly, there's a lot of money going in it and time in amongst everything else. The baiting, you said there you put a load of seed in, you knew it was getting breamed, you referenced eels.
Yeah.
What else have you seen in there? Pike, obviously, because Connor's caught them.
Yeah, it comes again, the pike. You've got your big ferret trouts and all.
You seen them? Catch any of them?
No, don't get me wrong, we did a bit of spinning while we was up there. You've got to be, you're bored. If you can keep a couple of rods in during the day, you've got 4 rods out each, we'll bring one in each. Yeah. In the way, it doesn't have a spin for the perch pike. I last 10 minutes and I'm bored.
Really?
My attention's not there long enough. I've 4 chucks, bored, sod that. Sling it, you know what I mean? Go make a brew. Come will sit there all day long and chuck spinners, do you know what I mean? Yeah. And then on the night, you put that 4th rod back out, so you're covered off your rod license. Like, because they are quite frequently up there, you don't want to have 4 out and just flicking a spinner out. It's not worth the hassle, right? So we'd fished it quite a fair bit, stuff like that. The eels were bad. The eels were bad, really bad on a night, to the point where once dusk come, fucking done.
That bad?
All 8 rods gone in half an hour.
What, on boilie up baits?
We tried the tigers. Jim, I spoke to Shelley on Christmas Day, and he was like, "You sure it's God you've tried the tigers?" I was like, "We have. We bought half a ton of tigers." Right. Yeah, we don't do things by half. Like, if you're going to do it, fuck it, do it big. So we bought half a ton of tigers, unprepped. Started doing them every night, cooking, freezing. Right, you doing quite a lot. Like, would be like chopped up in the blender, like, so you've got like the tiger nuts, the tiger nut slush sort of thing. We'd blend a fair bit, and that lot bought a lot of it as well. But these were big tigers, expensive tigers, not cheap ones. So I think there's about, don't know, might be about 100 kilo left in the box room.
Jeez,
still a fair whack. Right, but we were giving it that, and we thought, right, solely tigers, breamed. 4 or 5 pound bream, couldn't keep them in. But,
not even big uns, are they? 4 or 5 pound?
No, pasties.
God.
You know what I mean? But it's, I believe there's bigger bream in there, the matchmen are getting them, but they're getting 200 pound weight in a day, 5 hours fishing. You're not going to get around the bream. The tigers are just, I think when you've got such a high population of bream in a water like that, general rule of thumb, they don't like tigers. If it's a means of survival with very little naturals in that water.
Is that what you found in that water?
Very little naturals. I'm not naive. If you went down to either end where you've got the big weed growth, it's going to be teeming. They're going to be down there, them carp. They know over the years, 10, 20, 30, 40, whatever years they've been in there, they're going to know that that's the food source, general food source. You're not down there. You're sort of central. You're positioning yourself in the central lake for anything passing. Trapping them off between sort of islands, so they're coming through, so you've got less water because you've got like a 20-acre island, you've got a 9-acre island, so you can trap them off. But not very much, not much naturals at all. What little weed growth is there? It's not Canadian or Hawthorn or even blanket weed. It's like a kelp that comes up. Yeah. So you're going out in the boat, you're diving down, you're ripping a bit of that up by hand, you're bringing it up, and there's nothing in it.
Just dead.
Like full of life. It's steamed with life. Like, obviously the weed itself, it's a fresh growth. Might be 6 foot tall, but there's nothing on that at all, or in it or around it. But there's a lot of perch in there. There's a lot of silverfish in there. Very little naturals in that area. But you're just trying to trap them off coming through that area. There's 3 passing ways really in that central of that lake. So you're just trying to create one. There's a stop sign with bait.
Mate, that is...
But their meals are horrendous.
How big? Big ones?
Don't know, never had one. But I'm fishing... You're fishing like a stiff boom so it can be set, right? On a...
what are you fishing?
Stiff boom, basically on a Ronnie. Or on a combi, depending. Just to
depending on what? So you try both?
Depending on bait, sort of thing, stuff like that. But you're trying to sort of like... I'm fishing big baits and all.
What are you fishing? 24 millers?
I spoke to Finn about it. Obviously, we were putting scopehead squid in. Yeah. Right, so I was blending scopehead squid at home, throwing egg mix into it. I'm rolling some donkeys.
Donkeys,
yeah, proper donkeys, right? And it's ironic because you're thinking, like, I'll take a £3 common.
You ain't fitting that in his comp.
No way. He'd have to work with it for a little bit, like, to get it in. And then tipping them off with, like, pop-up sort of thing. So snowman, but big bait, size ones. Big bait. You're fishing at range. I'm not losing a fish out of there.
Yeah, one bite.
No, not losing one. So fishing big baits, necessarily not all the time, but we played around with a few different ideas, sort of thing. But you just get your rigs destroyed off eels. Come any time of the year.
Okay, so that's how you knew the eels were there. They were just getting all.
Oh yeah,
open.
your bobbins are dancing. Soon as half an hour after dark, bobbins are dancing. But Connor's getting it on the pipe rods throughout the winter. You see, so you know it's a lot of eels in there. You've got the river at the top end that flows in. It's naive to think that they're not in there.
Yeah,
but they're in there on like in force. Millions of them.
Did you talked before, and the same about the flash, about using the other water as well, about using a camera? Is that a part of that armoury? Did you use the camera on those spots to have a little look at bait, what was left, what was going on, etc.?
It's gin clear, Windermere. I mean, it's not gin clear because it's been highlighted recently in the news about the pollution and stuff like that. It's really bad at the moment. But for us, it's gin clear compared to a typical lake. You can stand up on that boat,
see
naked eye, see 20 foot down the floor. Right now, that's clear.
Yeah.
Then you go on the way home. You'll go and drive to Coniston, have a walk with the dog, and realise that is clear.
Yeah.
Coniston, Windermere's getting the pollution. Coniston's not getting that pumped in as such. And you can see the difference in water quality from where you've been for 5-6 days, and you go on there, you can just spot it straight away. But yeah, you can see you didn't need the camera system. It's there, case, but you don't actually need it to actually see your baited area or your bait. Ducks wise, tend to leave you alone. It's not like your typical fishery where you're getting hammered off tough D's. There's nothing really much up there. The odd mallard, do you know what I mean? That's it. The eels are the problem. You wouldn't normally be your skimmers or your bream. No.
As soon as it was dark.
Eel.
And you're saying there before, you were saying that because of the ferry traffic and everything else, you're just putting them out on dark.
You're putting them out at dark and the eels are coming awake. So it's not as if you're thinking like you're fishing the best of your advantage where the eels are so active on the night, but you're fishing during the day. You know. And you're just pissing in the wind, basically. You're thinking, why am I even bothered? That's when questioning your own sanity comes into it. Just be normal, Scott.
That's savage, mate. What did you try and do to combat them then? Is there anything you can do?
What we'd done at first, when we were baiting it and we were going back and some of the bait's gone, some of them big donkey clunkers are still sat there. But then they're going. You're thinking, getting visited. But then you know yourself, once you know it's the eels that are coming in on you on a night, they'll just smash it up until there's nothing left. Fishing pop-ups, highly up, straight up, off the lead.
How big? Off the lead?
Off the lead, yeah. Trying to get away from that depth. But obviously, if you're putting a lot of bait in that, you're putting a lot of seed, and it's not so bad for the eels, but you'll start putting like 10 kilo of barley out. You can't saturate. You can't. So we like to tweak our bait a lot.
What do you mean?
Saturating it, I'd say up. You know what I mean? Flooding it out. You mean you can't use a throwing stick on it a lot of the time because it'll just blow. It's going out in the spod or it's going out in a boat, right? Placing it in, but literally you touch it, gone.
Really? That's soft.
So when I was saying like we was putting like 10 kilo of barley in on like the 200 acre and we were up on there, it straights out. It's in and out of them straight away. They're passing it. So you're not actually filling them up as such. Do you know what I mean? It's in, gone. But on there, we were literally pouring it mainly in straight out of the bag. Because you want that tougher bait, do you know what I mean? Because them eels, you can't compete with that. They can go through that bait straight away. So, yeah.
Off the lead pop-ups, yeah.
Trying to keep it off. And the literally, we didn't have any issues with crays up there.
Yeah.
Right. No doubt they're in there, but we didn't have any issues. But they're pulling it down, the eels off the thing and smashing you up still. And you're thinking, like, everything's against us.
Yeah, that's an absolute nightmare, mate.
And you sat there thinking, like, you finally got the rods out, you bolted 8 rods out, a couple of different spots we were baiting. In the same area, but different distances and depths to see what, you know what I mean, if you can trip anything up, sort of thing, anything's like, if you clock anything, you go out on the boat, you think you might have seen one. You're not going to do, we never did. I thought once, maybe, but I wasn't. You question, is it because I wanted to see someone? I think I've seen something. You know what I mean? It's choppy up there. You can have big waves, 2-foot waves. You're going out. There's times we've been up there and we've not put rods out because it's just not safe.
Yeah.
Even taking the big boat, doing the 3.1, deck floor on it, big engine, going out, proper life jackets on, common sense stuff. I think not worth it. Just not worth it. That's just, you can do a bit of spinning, I'll chill.
Yeah. Wait for a window and then get them out if it's possible.
Yeah, and if there's not, it's not worth risking your life.
No. Especially there, you got some depth, haven't you, boy?
Well, I tried swimming them out the other week.
What?
Yeah.
The other week?
Yeah. Christmas week, after what happened, we got a wind coming, big wind, 60 mile an hour wind, savage conditions. We took the small boat, 2.1.
Okay.
We weren't asked about fishing. We just gone up there to chill out. We didn't expect it to happen. We stopped baiting it 3-4 weeks prior. I'd already pulled off once for the winter and gone back on because I was bored. I thought, nah, I'll give it another couple of weeks. So I'd pulled off probably October after all them rains.
Okay.
Did a couple of weeks, bored, went on the Park Lakes, not for me.
What happened? Nothing happened leading up to sort of through the summer months, through that spring, nothing.
No,
just
nothing.
Dream, plagued with eels.
Yeah. Seen nothing, heard nothing. The lads are coming over to talk to you. During the day, you obviously got a lot of pike lads coming through trolling, so you can't fish during the day, and if you could, you can't because you're fishing braid, they're just going to wipe you out.
Yeah, of course.
Not selling off their expense and leaving live rigs in. So, yeah, it's nothing really to go on.
So you pull off October.
Sat on the Park Lake. I'll strangle someone on there, mate. I'm the nicest guy you'll ever want to meet, but if I'm going somewhere, I just want to be sort of left alone, right? I enjoy fishing with other people. You get still with your own angling where if you're just fishing with like me and you, or it's me and Connor, you've got your own ideas how things can be done, should be done, and you come still with it where you're not keeping an open mind or being influxed with new people doing it a different way, which you can add to your angling, making you a better angler. So I enjoy fishing with other people and going somewhere. So I thought, right, you know what, I'm going to go on the park. And you've got the rods out for the night and there's people turning up at 11 o'clock at night, rowing boats around, you know what I mean? Thinking they're doing it, and the only thing you're doing is be fucking heading, like, so that's just not for me. You know what I mean? That's putting it out there. I've tried it. I thought, no, I'm going back up there.
So you went, when did you go back then?
Probably pulled off beginning of October.
Yeah,
because of them rains. We had a lot of water intake. Probably managed about 2 weeks fishing locally. Oh, no, it's not for me. Went back again. Dropped obviously the bait levels down. But more fishing a spot in case anything come in. Probably did 2 weeks up there and they got the bad winds and the rain and everything else. And I thought, do you know what? Stop being an idiot. Just go do some sensible fishing. I got this ticket come up.
Yeah.
Winter ticket. A couple of 40s and up to 48. I thought, right, I'll go sit on there, chill out for the winter and then get ready to hit it again. Probably spring. And then Christmas come around. Nowhere to be. Let's go up there and let's chill out. And that's why we were there Christmas.
Jesus, mate.
Went up Christmas Eve sort of thing. Took the little boat, 2.1, which was a mistake. Because you're thinking like, it's not bad weather. We hadn't even looked. It was irrelevant. Thought, just get them out there, bang them out, chill out, cook some good food, catch up on some sleep and spend some quality time together.
Okay. So you go there Christmas week. You hadn't been since whenever you hadn't been.
Yeah, a good 3-4 weeks.
So you hadn't baited it.
No, nothing's gone in. Nothing's gone in at all. That spot, dry. Not seen any bait. But it's seen a lot of bait throughout the course of that year. Tows them rods out, puts them in. Chills out sort of thing, having a bit of a laugh.
This is Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, yeah. We got them in early. There's no ferries running. I think they'd probably gone by about 12 o'clock. So rather than getting them out to 8, 9 o'clock at night, they were out early, I think, which played a part in that. Sat there, probably 11:30. Not even had a drink. Don't bother. Bottle of Jack D, bottle of Some Comfort, couple of beers. Not interested. Both of us. Right? So I said, like, get our heads down. Get up in the morning. Right? Just, you can do some spin. Reel one in. Do some spinning. Stuff like that. I'll take dog for a walk. Christmas Day. It's probably about an hour into the night. I've got the dog in the van with me. And you get in touch with it all the time, but I just get this one toner. No. Comes from nowhere.
Why?
You ignore the touches up there. It's not like it's not like you're on the local lake. You're getting 2 touches. You think, oh, could be something. You know what I mean? Something moving in. Could be just something. I could be overshooting them, and I'm getting liners. 2 touches reveals up there. It's like every 10 seconds.
Oh.
We'd looked at the R4s, thinking like it's a way forward, maybe for this year coming.
Yeah, to drown that out.
Spoke to Finn about some stuff like. Well, obviously, stuff had happened at that point. But that was thinking just, because of that line, touch sensitivity, where you can adjust so much. You get away with that, but then you know you've been healed. But you know you're being healed every night. We got him out, and it went dusk. I was like, it starts. Yeah, dude, all 4 of them slapping your blanks. You know what I mean? You're fishing and bowstring on thingy anyway, locked up. You know what I mean? Well, tight up, your bobbins are tight up. I use 2-ounce bobbins, big heavy bobbins. They're locked up solid, in the line clip, on your scope sort of thing. And you just literally, they're still going ting, 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 ting. Nothing. It's quiet. I was like, looking at each other. This is probably like 5 o'clock, just gone dark. 6 o'clock comes round, 7 o'clock. I think one of my rods, a bit of activity on it with eel.
Right.
Not bad. Couple of touches, but not like... These are stripping line off you, normally. Oh. You're getting 1 toners off him, then you drop it, and then another one picks it up, 1 tone. If you don't deal with it, you could be fishing 140 yards out, and wake up in the morning, you've got 350 yards of braid off.
And this is on 2 12-ounce leads, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. But they're doing your leads and all, you know what I mean? So there's an expense for your leads. I'm lucky I get them off a guy that I know sort of thing, like he looks after me. But it's still an expense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you're getting a drop back because obviously 2-ounce bobbing on and it's just falling back and you've been breamed. You've been in 10 minutes. Oh. So I've not been breamed, been healed generally. So this Christmas morning, 12:30, gets this 1 toner. Oh. So I comes flying out like, and I'll be honest now, a lot of people have asked me, I thought, fedex, big fedex trout.
Is that what you thought?
Yeah, or a pike, because I was fishing contrasting pop-up, you mean, up on a Ronnie, like, I'm thinking like...
Off the lead, or are you fishing
on the deck now? Okay. Right? And I'm thinking like, pikes maybe moved in. There's a lot of small bits around there for the seeds. It's quite abundant with silverfish in there, so I'm thinking the silverfish are active on it, pikes moved in, they've nailed me, right? Or a fedex, which I don't mind a fedex.
2, right?
Because I think £18 they've come out of there. I've seen a few on the islands, been ottered. Good doubles, definitely doubles.
You've seen them out?
Oh yeah, definitely framework of a double. Doubles, £12.
Any ferox is like, to be fair, it's the same as a carp out of there. It doesn't matter result, isn't it?
Yeah, even the guys who are fishing aren't getting them. You mean they're very hard to get, so far I'll take one of them. Not what I want, but I'll take one. And I'm playing this fish like, I'm thinking, it's taking line off me. It's not a pike. And I've never really had a fedex. I've done a lot of fly fishing, a lot of trout fishing over the years and that lot, and this isn't anything like that. In the back of my mind, I didn't consider it could be, it could have come good. And then got it probably about 40 yards. It's in clear, but obviously you've got a bit of a wind on there, sort of thing, so even though you got your head torch on full as it's coming into the margins, you're not quite getting, and it's common.
Oh, mate, I can't imagine.
And it's not a £3 common.
I don't care if it is a £3 common, mate.
And then my ass fell out on me. I'm stuck there. I was like, fucking hell, I wish I'd had a drink now. You know what I mean? It's just get out there, get it in the net. All cost. Pardon me. So, gets this fish in the net and just stood there. Oh. Obviously, that comes with it's time, like, sort of thing. He's already up well before he even knew what it was. And you just stood there, and you're just laughing at each other. Can't believe it. Archon's buzzing for me. I mean, that's some buzz.
Pardon
me. Archon's like, he's like ecstatic. You've done it. You had one. And I have like a minute thinking, the fucking holy grail.
That is.
And then hit rock bottom.
What? Because he's got to catch one.
Yeah. So then you feel that low self-esteem kicks back in again. Didn't deserve it.
Oh, behave.
Right. Connor deserved it more than me. Right. He'd appreciate it more. Right. And then you sat there like, and he's buzzing, and I feel guilty because I'm not buzzing. I rep my own head. I'm sat there thinking like, I feel guilty because now I should be buzzing. But I know inside he's going to be hurting because he wants one. But we've learned from fishing, I'm not saying waters like that because that's on another level, but fishing them lots of low stock pits, when you're on them, potentially you're not just on one. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'd say 8% of the time, there's normally a few. So rods were shuffled. stuff with me. I couldn't have 2 up with the pike, 2 up with the carp. Straight away, bump them pike rods. For you're not fishing with pike. They're going out there. I mean, if they're in that area, this is like maybe one opportunity a year. Not very often. They're going out. So rods were taken out, put in. But it was made. You're not going to sleep.
Mate, no.
Dropped it in the fail-safe. Inside another fail-safe. Inside of another one. Archon's got the original, I've got the fail-safe. So his had gone inside mine. I've got the XL one, size of this table light. So that's gone in. And I've tied it to the fence. 40-foot fence, picket fence going out to the water. Thought, nothing's going wrong here. If that fucking, if that something goes amiss, I'm finding that fence floating. I'm having that. It's not going anywhere. And like, obviously, you're doing your regular checks every 20 minutes to make sure it's sitting all right and it's not kicking off. It's kicking off. It's blast the best pictures you can get in the dark and let it go. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's sitting good, like. And we'd had a couple of brews and we sat there and like pictures were done. Like, not pictures like that, but pictures like water short, the retainers in the water sort of thing, you know what I mean? And then Archon just melts. 2 touches. I remember turning around, looking at him, but you're getting touches all the time. But this night was quiet, it was different.
You said that, you didn't have the same activity.
And it was like 2 touches, and I looked, and just as I turned around and looked at him, it's gone. Now, his fight was worse than mine because his dad's just had a carp, you know what I mean? 2.5 hours earlier, like, he knows it's 99.9, his turn. Whereas me, I'm thinking Ferrex, pike. It's only that last 40 yards where I clocked it. I'm thinking, no, that's a common. You're up on the surface. So his fight was, fair due to him, his fight was more painful than mine.
That's a long old way to bring him in from as well, isn't it?
No, we weren't fishing that 400.
Oh, were you not fishing that?
No, we weren't fishing the 400. We were fishing a different area. Still a distance, like, but not that. The undertows are too bad at that time of year under the Savage. We were having problems even with 12-ounce leads at the shorter range.
Just getting blushed off the spot.
Yeah, with the undertows. So, and Archon's in the net. And that's not a £3 common. So then, I can celebrate.
Yeah, it's a big release, isn't it?
Yeah, because then I actually feel like I can actually show true emotion because I don't feel like guilty for having one and him not having one. It's then suddenly been a shared thing. I'd rather have Connor caught one all day long than me. I mean, I have one. And I would be buzzing for him because I know Connor, he's the very same mindset as me. He would have been gutted that Irons had one. But I burn from inside for me. I mean, literally it breaks me. So I know Connor wants one. So once he's had that, it's just like, right. Not even a Southern Comfort come out. Not even a whiskey. It's like, right, let's get a brew on. I sat there laughing, like, get a brew on. Dog's sorted. I mean, he's asleep in my bed. Like, he said, right, sat there, just like, enjoy the moment. It's happened, like, I mean. Now,
it's a Christmas day, that is.
That wind picked up a little bit. Obviously, there's a rod out. You're not replacing a rod. It's doing that earlier. You've got enough rods out there. Does it really matter? Does it really matter? No. So we're not going to replace rods and risk spooking anything off that spot. Just leave them in. Throughout the night, we were done with tows. They didn't end up being, I think we had 1 rod left in the morning on that sort of spot. And you've got that 12, what we call a 12-hour window. So there, you've always got a chance of having 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, and then nothing for the year. Not asked. I've had what I want. I've had more than what I want. All right. So in the morning, I think probably just before we tried to get a few hours sleep, Con's put story on his Insta.
Yeah.
All right. And then it
kicked off.
It went fucking mental, pardon the language. Yeah. It was like, I mean, like I said, Archon enjoys this social media side. I do. I've seen it. I should have been on it for a long time ago. Some of the people I've met in the last 6 months, unbelievable, right? The passion that they have for the angling, they're out there doing it sort of thing. Or they just like, they don't fish that often, but they get it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I struggle with praise. So when I put something on, with my self-esteem, it's like, Mega Scott smashed it. You know what I mean? It's like the pinnacle of carp fishing. I'm just like, I struggle with that. I'm embarrassed.
I remember that photo going up, mate. Was it Christmas Day or Boxing Day? When did you put it up?
Christmas Day. Connor put a picture on. Probably I'd say probably about 1 o'clock in the morning. And half hour after we returned mine to the fence, he put a picture on, just of the retainer, and I can't think he put something like, your boy's gone and done it. The pinnacle of whatever. You know what I mean? It's something he'd put on. And there's people still up, so it starts. And then there's a picture of 2 retainers. And then people's getting confused saying there's 2 retainers. It's like, I thought it was one. It's like, Colin's going in on the party. He's been a good boy this year. Father Christmas has brought him one. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and then it just went mental. You mean, Alan messaging.
Mate, that's the holy grail. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. Like, there's challenges in carp fishing. There's difficult venues. There's incredible fish. What's the best fish out there? People say the Burfield Common. People might say whatever else. But the Burfield Common, in comparison to what's achieved there, is an absolute stroll up on a stock pond, mate. And I ain't discrediting it by any means. I wouldn't even go and fish for that. But what you've done there on that place by design, forget the financial costs, forget the time costs, forget the trying to suss out the puzzle of undertows and ferries and wakeboarders and whatever else is kicking off, the barren nature of it, ferox, pike. You could not pick a more challenging, bigger volume of water to try and catch a carp from that may not even have actually existed in there. Do you know what I mean?
I know. I mean, we believe they were in there. There's a river flows in. You've got fisheries that obviously could flood, get into the river, transferred in. They're then stuck in there, but then they can also get out in the floods. Very unlikely, but they could. So you've heard the rumours that they've been seen 1 or 2 a year in the marina, and there's one been found dead. You probably heard that. Yeah, one in the boatyard years ago.
I've heard of a mate,
ghosty.
But I've never heard of someone being mad enough to go and try and
have a crack on it. Yeah,
properly.
But then where does it leave you for what to go and do after that? Do you know what I mean?
I don't know.
So we're going to have another year.
Are you gonna?
Yeah.
See if there's a bigger.
And that's down to Finn, to be honest. Yeah, like I said, I praise him again. He spoke to us like 7 hours and saying like, "Oh, what are you going to do? You've had what you wanted now." I was like, "Oh, it wasn't deserved. You have not deserved it. It's not.
What are you talking about, Scott? What are you talking about?
It's got to be one of them where I've been beaten, sort of thing. I've been sat there, wrecked my own head, sort of thing, thinking like, and don't get me wrong, them thoughts came along. Why am I here? Just fuck it off, like, go get a syndicate, like, go get a club waters. And there's plenty of other waters around my way. 49 canal system that I could go and fish. Do you know what I mean?
But you can't say that you've not deserved that, mate.
No, it come too quick. I needed a year with nothing.
All right, it might have come quick and a lot quicker than you thought. And you might, in a weird sort of self-crazy sort of, I don't know, sadomasochistic way, want to hurt yourself to attain it. But you've put the time in, you've put the bait in. It happens when it happens.
In a way, I think it would have been better if Connor had 2 and I'd had none. Because then I know it's achievable and that they're there and it's just been at the right time, right place, and wanting it enough and giving it a good crack. My time will come. But then it would have beat Connor because he's had 2 and I've had none. Not as much it would do me, but
I think
it weren't perfect. You couldn't have picked for a better scenario at the end of the day.
I think you've had the absolute ideal scenario. Christmas Day, Dad and his lad, hardest venue, hardest tacit you could probably ever pick in a carping sense in the country. You've had one each.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
Holy Grail.
I'm done here, mate.
It's to me, but like I said, then you get them kind of. Obviously, social media puts a lot more on. I do put stuff on, but I try and stay away a little bit. You know what I mean? I struggle to cope with it sometimes, right? Archon copes really well with it. So Archon's put it on, and he's replying to as many people as possible, and he's got mental, right? I've put something on later on, just 2 retainers in the water. It's happened. Must have been good boys for Christmas or something like that. Unbelievable. And then I've got got Alan, Christmas Day, 8 in the morning. He sat at home with his missus and his kid and the girls, and he's messaging you. You know what I mean? And then after his dinner, 6 hours later, he's still on his mind, messaging you.
Yeah.
Send nudes. Do you know what I mean? And then pictures, my eyes only. And then the likes of yourself, Hassan. You know what I mean? You've got Shelley.
I don't think I'm in the same bracket
no,
as these
boys,
mate.
But then you've got like Shelley messaging you and all, and you've got like, you know what I mean? It's...
That's serious,
Crowy.
mate.
You know what I mean?
They know, mate.
Sending
you
messages like, you know what I mean? Unbelievable. Now, to me, I struggle. Yeah, really do. It's nice and stuff like that, but to me, I'm not good enough, or stuff like that.
Yeah, that's incredible.
It's stuff like I'm not good enough for it, or it's like I've not done that, or I didn't deserve it, or I've not earned it yet to have that fish. So I do really struggle to cope with that side of it. Archon sort of like copes a lot better. You know what I mean? He's accepted of it, sort of thing. It sort of like vexed my head a little bit. And then obviously Finn coming up, making that effort again.
Yeah.
So I do struggle quite a bit.
How much they weigh? What were they?
Sorry?
Were they 20s?
Mine was 22, Cons was 16, which was a little considerable bit more than £3.
That's all right, mate. Flipping
But
out.
then
20.
we had a 2-hour discussion with Finn over it. It's like, what you're doing now, you're done. Just don't beat yourself up anymore over it. I was like, yeah, but we're expecting a £3, 2 and a 3. If you've had a 22 and a 16.
Oh, he's just gone mad, haven't you?
You're thinking potentially. And then you've got Shelley saying, like, I mean, there could be something decent in there. Think there could be.
They could also.
Is it my job to sit there and waste me life to go and have a crack?
You could also have caught the good one that's in there.
And, well, my dad again, right? My dad's like, what could be in there? I said, there's got to be the biggest of everything. The likelihood of me going on having the big girl is nigh impossible. But there's got to be one that's got to be the bigger than the others. Do you see what I mean? I'm not saying I'm going to have to be for another by any means, but like there's got to be a cap where it ends. Doesn't mean there's a 30, doesn't mean there's a 40 in there. There's very little naturals at the area that we're fishing, but you know what I mean? It's one of them. But yet then Bream have got to a decent size, £8 in there, I believe. So there's obviously something in there for him to eat.
So you're going to do another year?
Yeah. We spoke about it with Finn was there. We said, Finn's going to come on and have a crap with us, believe it or not. Yeah.
Is he going to have a go?
He's going to have a go. He said
He's basically going to jump on your bait.
No, I've put him on my bait. No, what it is with Finn, right?
Oh, Finn, you've not come out well here, boy.
I know, mate. Fucked it, mate. No, what I actually said to Finn when he was up there that night and that lot, and he said, like, look, I'd love one out of it. No, I haven't got he said, yeah, I've got the time, but I've not got the time. He's got to produce videos, Finn, every 3-4 weeks, stuff like that. He can't go produce. Yeah, you can put good content. Like Dan now. He knows he can give Dan good content to put out and stuff like that. Right?
Yeah.
And Nash to put out on there.
I feel you're making a good case for Finn's defence.
Yeah, but there's only, I'm just being honest, there's only so many videos, 2-3 videos, people want to fish.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not about, a lot don't get that mindset where you sat up there and that big wind's enough and that them waves and B&B is enough. Yeah. They do want to fish. That's it solely. So it can only go run it so long. But I said to him, what we'll do is we'll give it another year and you're only half an hour away generally, good weather. I said, if you're not Dalinia or whatever you tend to be, if I have one again and it happens, and I know there's rough, generally I believe there's a 10-12 hour window where you've got high chance of another one, I'll ring you, come down, you can take my scopes, all the rest of it, right? I'll reel in, right? And just tie your own rigs up out of my stuff if you've not got your rig wallet with you, right? And get 4 out on the spot and have a crack for one. I'm not fussed. I've had one. Right? I wouldn't mind another 1 or 2, but I've got nowhere else to be. I have got places to be, and I don't really want to be there. But I enjoy that escapism. Well, you can go up there, be left alone. The nights are bliss up there. The days are like Blackpool Promenade, and the nights is just like tucked away middle of it. You do get van lifers coming up. They're generally a nice kettle of people, right? You know what I mean? They go walking, they're out on the bikes, they come back, they cook a meal, they get the rest down, they're up at first light and they're gone. What I said to Finn, like, we'll have a crack. Come up with us, do a bit of fishing with us and that lot, we'll have a crack at that. I mean, if I can get into one or Con has another one, give you that ring straight away. Come straight, if you're in the area, come straight over, take my gear, jump on that spot and put my rods out. Try and get you one.
Do you think part of your key, looking back at that success, obviously the regular baiting, obviously being there, but also that time of year with those eels and them just seeming to, I don't know, not disappear, maybe not be as active, I don't know.
I think a lot come into, I mean, you had the big debate the other week, didn't you?
Yeah.
Right, so...
Not a moon phase.
Yeah, right, so they're going to go fucking nuts, they're going to say, well, a lot of shit he's talking. But yeah, well, we didn't pay attention to it. Other waters we have worked around the harvest moon, the hunter's moon, stuff like that. We've had some mega nights on them moons. There's something in it. My opinion, it's just my opinion. Connor would say the same. On them big pits, it does affect it. That first one out of the 200 acre on the 6th night, That was on a big moon phase, right? Big wind, massive wind coming in. But yeah, the moon was right, full moon. I think it was a 98.2, something like that. So
It's there,
yeah. Wind, gone mild. And it was just like, you sit there, you think it feels good for it. It's not the sort of thing you say up there. It never feels good for it. But it was said. And then that night, probably about, it's hard to say, but probably about 8 o'clock at night, I think we heard one.
Jesus.
You fucking brush it off. Like, but our con said to me, sure, I've just heard one. Well, I thought that was the case. It was more of a clatter rather than like a pike's a strike, and obviously your trout's just more of just a jump. This was like a tail crack. You're like, it sounded like one there. Not on the spot, away to the left, but it's everything. It's doing that earlier. And then you laugh it off. You know what I mean? You don't even envision it being one sort of thing. And that happens. But when you look back then, you put like the moon phase, stuff like that. I'm not a massive believer in it, but it has worked in my favour a good few times.
I think it's a combination of things, isn't it, mate? But ultimately, mate, that is just the biggest fairy tale chapter that I could possibly think of. And you're going to go back on there and do a bit
I'm not going to give it as much as I've done. Not going to let it consume me to an extent. I'm going to go. I want.
You were signing up for 6 months off work, saying I'm going to take a career gap and stuff, weren't you?
Yeah. Just to have one. I wanted one. You mean for that photo album? Arcon's a credit with that camera. Do you know what I mean? He loves his photography side of it. I'm shit. I love my hands up. This year, I want to learn my camera. I bought a camera last year. I've got Connor's camera that I can take, stuff like a couple of cameras. I want to learn to be able to return the favour to Con. You know what I mean? So when he's got that one fish that either means the world to him, or it's a special one, or it's a one that doesn't do many. If I'm there with him, I can get that shot. It frustrates me. I feel like I'm letting him down because he can just point the camera like Rich Stewart and all. He just point the camera and just nail that shot instantly. Me, I'll do 50 shots and they're all shit. So I want to spend a bit of time this year. I can do that while I'm angling, while I'm fishing. I have got my camera in the van now, which will tonight once I'm sorted.
You'll have that 48-pounder, mate.
I don't want it.
That's why you love it.
I don't want it.
That's why you love it,
mate.
So the future basically is a bit more time on Windermere, even though that's just the most incredible chapter. A bit of photography and learning that sort of thing with Connor's sort of guidance. What about wider than that, mate? What do you do after, let's say, and judging by your recent form, you'll probably catch a ridiculous either number or big one from Windermere. What after that? What do you do then?
God knows. There is a place there. I do day tickets. Don't generally like most of them, just because I think it's hard to get anything going on a day ticket. I don't go down there when fishing it week in, week out. But the only day ticket I do actually really enjoy, I've done that scene, but pits, A1 pits.
Oh, okay.
Right, it's got the raw factor. It's wild. You mean
it's all one bit of water at the moment, isn't it?
It's actually this morning. The message it's opening up again Friday, hoping to. It's the causeways aren't all interlinked. The rivers drop back down. The pits are still up about 8-9 foot in height each pit.
Okay.
I
drove by it earlier this week.
Yeah,
you'd said to me, savage.
You said to me it was literally gone.
It's just like ridiculous.
But there's one in there that I wouldn't mind. It's in pit 6. Well, it was in pit 6. There's possibly what I class. And most of the class is probably a handful of special ones.
I know the fish you're talking about, yeah.
Been down there a few times with Arcon. I have a savage week. Tend to fish it for a week at a time, a couple of trips a year. I'll have a week where I'll blank royally, have my pants pulled down, fish shit. And then I'll go down there, and the week after I'll put it. The next session down there, it's good to me, that lake. Really good to me. Day tickets, I fish shit. Said this with Finn. You'd never meet anyone more embarrassing on a day ticket. The effort's probably not put in like on them big wild pits, because I feel like there's 400 fish in 10 acres. Should be easy. Shouldn't have to put that effort in. And then I struggle. And I start pulling my rigs apart, thinking, why haven't I had one? It's not that. Them fish are fish for day in, day out. They've seen everything. Fair play. A lot of respect for them guys who's doing that scene, like Finn and everybody else in the country who's fishing day tickets. Them fish are harder to catch than what I'm up against. Do you know what I mean?
You say that's different sets of problems, and I think, mate, I don't think they're harder than catching a carp on Windermere.
Yeah,
I can catch them. I don't think I could catch one on Windermere. Do you know what I mean? If I went there today and went, I'll tell you what, I'll buy.
I wouldn't get one if I went there today, like, but you know what I mean. But yeah, The pits, I want to do a few trips back to the pits this year. I want that other one.
What about wider than that? Europe? Fancy a bit of that? Everyone seems to be sort of, that's a bit of freedom, a bit of big water. You do that here, but there ain't many left here after you've done Windermere.
Yeah, I've fished Europe, don't get me wrong, right? I've done the French trips, done the commercial side, or done one of a wow factor sort of feel to it sort of thing, just a weekend, just your typical holidays. Yeah. Out with Archon, September, today.
Okay, proper.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about respect a lot, but I have a lot of respect for a lot of people in the angling trade. Yeah. Samir and Claire. Yeah. I get on really well with Samir. We chat quite a bit and stuff like that. We've been sat on that 200 headache with our head burnt out, and he's rang us. And he's like, you don't fucking do it. Proper water, proper fish, respect. And suddenly, just that little bit, game changer. Head's back in the game. Yeah. You know what I mean? People don't realise how a little few words or a little bit of just like giving someone that pat and push can make a massive difference. I need a push in my angling. You know what I mean? I need to piss someone off. If I'm on a lake, and I'm pissing someone off, not because I'm an arsehole or because I'm always kind to them and respectful to them, but if I've had a few fish and they're struggling and they don't like it, I fish harder. Yeah, shockingly. That was the perch pit. The perch pit was a prime example. They didn't like it. It's that lake produces 10 to 20 bites a year.
And you said, was it 30?
I did 37. We did 37 nights for 20 odd bites. Do you know what I mean? I had 11 fish in 3 days one time. But literally going like the perch first time 30, getting the pink mouth, getting the little fullet been missing for 7 years. Had that. It was like, there's no one. See ya. If someone's got a bit of an issue because you've got on there, you're just working hard and you're getting a few bites and you're getting lucky, I'm probably fishing at a different style to what they're fishing it, but just somehow drops on where you're actually being consistent. Some people don't like it. Some people give you the biggest pass on the back and sit down and have a brew with you. Some people literally it'll crawl on. You know what I mean? They don't like it. I need that.
Yeah, you need that extra.
Soon as someone's like, oh, you know, I mean, you've got a bow or you've got an end, you've got that. Like, yeah, but you've got this. Yeah, but you've got a drone. We're not using drones. You can find them instantly. As soon as you get that little bit of negative, right?
Spurs you on.
Fucking right. Right.
You just love it.
Just fish it twice as hard and piss them off. Now, if I'm pissing someone off, I'll fucking really piss them off. I'll go on, I'll have them fish in a month. If I quit my job, I'll go on there, I'll have what I want, and I'm gone. And it shouldn't be about that. But I just think if you're going to be childish sort of thing and you're going to pass comments which really aren't justified, why can't you just be like genuine? Look, we discuss this a lot. Never been jealous of someone for having a fish. Never sat there and thought, you don't deserve it. It's on my spot. You've sheeped me. You've come over. You've fished on the back of where I've been fishing. You've watched where I've been pointing, and you've gone in there and you've had that fish that I wanted, one fish a year. Never been like that. Even on my spot. Right? And literally, it's kind of envious. Yeah. I think, I wouldn't mind that one. It's one fish. It's one catch a year. I've got another 12 months to do now. I'm envious. But I'll go over and shake that person's hand. Yeah, Both of us, me and Connor. I spoke to you earlier on about this capture, about this guy who'd fouled up to fish and stuff like that, and Connor went down, did the pictures and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And it's a PB. Shake his hand. Congratulations. I'm buzzing for him. But there's a lot, unfortunately, the way angling's gone in the last couple of years. It's not all negativity. There's some amazing anglers out there, some amazing quality people out there who literally, like, look, that Windermere thing, I said, everybody just went crazy. More than I'd even expected. And I don't have many people follow me on Insta sort of thing. But obviously Connor does. He has quite a big following. And it just went mental. But not everyone's got that same sort of mindset. I mean, you'll always get that one person who's either jealous or they've got to have the 10 pence, you know what I mean, and say something. But I need that push. I had it with Windermere.
Interesting.
Week before, mate, why are you doing it to yourself? Why are you sitting up there rotting? Come out with me. Well, I've got a club ticket here, like, go on there. There's a few 40s in there. I can get you on for a free 48 hours, stuff like that. Come on there. Right? Stop being a dick. Come fishing on the water. You mean something like, just come chill out? Said, you're wasting your time. That's that push. He's a mate. It wasn't said in a negative way. It was said in a friendly way. And then it's like, I'm not saying I went up there, then I filled it, sat there and rotted for 3 months and I had one. It was luck. Christmas Eve. Like Christmas Day. Christmas Eve, up there, had one. Can't had one. But I'll do it to prove a point. in a way. I'm stubborn, really stubborn. And I live by principle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm really strong by it. I'm literally murder for it. It's principle. That's it.
Mate, it's an incredible life in angling, really, mate. If you look at it overall, there's a lot. I mean, there is a couple of chapters which are sort of very different, but on the whole, yeah, that mindset, that sort of, I don't know if it's punishment, adversity. You talked about negativity there. That whole sort of thing that most people sort of try and stay away from in some regard. There's almost a sort of thirst for it, but in a constructive way. Obviously, you're catching incredible fish on incredible venues and doing things that really are completely different to the norm. Do you know what I mean? People might think them, but people don't go out and do them. I think it's massively, inspirational, mate, and testament to you. And obviously, Connor as well as part of that, because a lot of this is real nice father-son time, but it's a similar mindset and similar thing that you both share. So, mate, I can't thank you enough for coming in and sharing it, because genuinely, mate, like, hairs on the back of your neck stuff, like a one toner on Windermere on Christmas Day, like night. It's like you could not write it if it was some sort of script. Do you know what I mean? It's just mad. But mate, I honestly can't thank you enough, and it is inspirational, mate.
No, thank you for having me.
No, mate. Before I let you go,
I've
got you some quick fire questions for you.
Yeah. Right? Do you know what? I'll be honest, me. Right, the other ones, the original ones. Yeah, I'd looked. I always watch the podcast anyway. Like, you know what I mean, but I had them, and you've changed them. I mean, you've tweaked. You best not change them. Just keep them as they are. We'll fly through this.
There's a few sort of, you know what I mean, nuances for each person, but there's the normal hardcore ones that are in there, mate. Right, you ready?
Yeah, go on.
Only fish up north for the rest of your days, or only fish down south?
North.
Really?
You got to be true to it. You know what I mean? We're not going to get into that debate again that they've just had. You know what I mean? But the lads up north are a little bit hard without being unfair to the southern lads. Do you know what I mean? The fish down south, there's some epic fish that I'd love to have a crack for. But there's a lot of waters up north that's not been explored, which has just got me all over.
Fair dues. One superpower that you could have, what would it be and why?
One superpower?
Yeah, what are you having?
Know where they are.
Every time?
No, but
I thought you liked to hunt, mate.
I do, but it's like
you get it caught in 2 days.
Look,
mate.
I could go on this ticket. I've got to go on tonight now. That don't want to be there. Really don't want to be there. I'm tired with I'm looking for an excuse. I was hoping that he'd say I couldn't get on, right? But I'm on, so I could just go find that one that I fancy and just flick 3 rods in front of it, and after that, and just pass me ticket. I could be home. Nice. Go do something I want to do.
Nice. 3 celebs you'd take fishing.
Oh, 3 celebs. Can be anyone. I think we've had, right.
Open ticket.
Love fishing with Samir.
Yes.
Love to get out with Samir, right? Shelley. Yes. I know I'm going to keep this fishing racing because literally that's all I do. You know what I mean? I don't follow football, I don't follow that. So someone would be like, oh, such a body. To me, it's straight through.
Shelley,
Samir, and I'll say you, and I know you said, no, go on. Yeah, I'll say you. Let's go out. Let's go out. Let's have a social.
You can have a social anytime with me. I'm certainly no celebrity, mate, but I'll give you that as a free. I'll definitely catch the less. I'll do the tease, boy. Drum and bass or country and western?
Drum and bass.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Colin has it banging out when we're on a mad biff or somewhere, and it's rattling through the van, like, you know what I mean, flying out most way at some stupid 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, not country and western. No, not at all. Drum and bass.
Fair play, mate. Unknown big pit UK 60 or unknown big pit French 80?
60 UK. Unknown. I'd take a 30 unknown.
Yeah.
I'd take a 20 unknown.
Take a £4 comment?
I've just been fishing for a £3 unknown, so yeah, anything about that's a bonus.
I don't know if you were fishing for a £3 with 24 look baits and donkey chokers and the likes of. One angler to catch a carp to save your life.
Oh, I'm gonna have to save my son.
Oh, I love that.
Even though I probably wouldn't survive it, but I'd have to say Connor. Do you know what I mean?
Nice dig.
Gotta do.
Nice dig. One venue, one era, one carp.
Touched on it because I feel like I should have done it. I know there's a lot of fish out there you could name, sort of thing, but the Deer Park. I know there's other ones coming through that's creeping there, even crept there to that sort of calibre, but it's not the one that I've seen that original picture of, and it's always.
Whose picture was it?
Oh,
Was it Rob Allen's when Rob had it?
Rob had it, but Richie Latham had it 3 times, I think. Richie had it. Been a bit greedy there, wasn't he?
I need to get him on.
Yeah, Richie Latham, nice guy.
Top
Real nice
lad.
guy, yeah. Sure he did it 3 times. So, yeah, probably that one. I kicked myself for that window and not taking it. Not saying I've ever caught it, but even just say you fished for it and it was swimming in that complex at the time when you were fishing for it, you could sort of feel like you were close to it. No.
Okay. Only fish, busy day tickets for named carp for the rest of your days, or never go fishing again. Sit forward, lad.
No fishing. No fishing at all.
No,
I
done.
can't even creep out in the hours of darkness. And
No guesting, no nothing, mate. You're out of here. Rods are gone.
It's not me, but I'd have to go fish for known.
Yeah, for named busy day ticket venues. Good man.
I could do what I'm going to do tonight. Just turn up and sit there for 24 hours and not put rods out. Yeah, still there, still watching. Go chat to some of the lads. Have a good social.
You do a few months of that and then put them out.
I wouldn't.
I'm joking. Final question, mate. Yeah. Night out on the bank or a night in with the missus?
My missus or someone else's missus.
You got your choice there, I think, mate.
Night out on the bank all the time. Yeah,
man, you live and breathe it, don't you?
I'm single for a reason, mate.
Yeah. Oh, you're not now, mate. You're on the old thing, mate. If you're follow him on Insta, send the DMs, mate.
I'm
You'll be
single. Easy life.
I love it, mate. Mate, Scott, thank you so much. Thank you guys for watching and listening. I'll be back soon with the podcast. Until then, Scott Hatton, you're a legend, mate.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.